Yeah.
This was a perfect fake out. This is a retest right over here. You know, after we break through 1483, we're going back down to 1481. Back down. Let's play some music here. Okay, this is the streaming music. Yeah, looking at your JPY is just ranging too. I mean, seems like it did pull out of this resistance at 12900, but it stopped at that level. It's in this range. We got interest rates tomorrow. Yeah, we got tomorrow interest rates.
Roger, who's the rat?
I don't know.
So what was this about?
Oh, that. Yeah. No, he's still there.
Yeah, but what information did the rat convey?
Oh, he sent screenshots to Jason.
What was that?
He sent screenshots to Jason. I found out yesterday. So, yeah, so we're gonna cut down the group to 30 people, and if the screenshot still gets sent out, then we would have been, you know, we're closing in on him.
You should have said it. Just do it.
Yeah, we're gonna fill.
We got a rat.
Yeah, we got a rat in one of the groups.
Oh, how did you find out?
Bro, I just explained it. He sent screenshots.
Good morning. Morning. Yeah, but what? Did they pop up on social media or something?
Oh, no, he's in a group.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You're talking about Jason with the L, right?
Yeah, Jason, yeah.
Is he
Yeah,
Prime?
DMs me on all the time on IG.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, I think he's the prime suspect.
He's the prime suspect.
Oh, what's he doing that for?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, grown men shouldn't do that, you know? Yeah. Alright, what's going on here?
It's like, don't you give away enough for free?
Yeah, no, apparently not. So, basically looking at gold here, I was looking at gold here. This was resistance, this broke out. This had to do retest, but it closed back in the range. So, I mean, if this 30-minute close is bearish, I think the next one should respect this high. And then now the thing is, there's a 70% chance. Well, there's a 100% chance price is going to come down to 1484. But then there's another higher chance that price can break the support because it couldn't break above. You know, so let's see how this closes. I think it's still gonna continue moving down. I have a sell running on gold anyway. I got in at like 1485.50.
Oh, you're still in? That's good work. Nice.
No, I entered more like later on.
Oh, did you? Oh, good work. Yeah, I was watching GJ this morning. Just trying to
Nice.
see what's happening.
Yeah, GJ.
Yeah, I was waiting above 15. No, not the 15. 560, I think, ish. I was looking before I consider anything.
Oh, wow.
It's great. It's a nice support, to be fair. So, but I'll be patient.
Yeah, looking at the daily here, seems like daily is above 14400.
Yep.
And then 4 hours creating this support.
I mean, the support it created in 1 hour is pretty nice. But
Yeah,
But I've been waiting for it. It did that nice little rejection was kind of from the daily resistance kind of, which was quite cool. But it didn't really push. It lost a bit of momentum and started to come back in.
Yeah.
So I left it, and I'm going to wait for it to break above yet.
Yeah, for it to go, I think this 30-minute has to close bullish.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's true. Cause like you got a support formed here, and you know now it's kind of like, I think it's respecting all this range.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, even looking at the 15-minute here, like even if there's a 15-minute that breaks the high of these previous ones, like about 14500, that'll be perfect. Because 14500 is a
My level was I think it was 56. I was going to wait until we got to the wick, I think, and look for 750 as a target potentially, but I'm not too sure yet.
Yeah, because any move above 14500, and then there's a high potential to go to, you're right, 146.40.
Yeah, I was where last week's high was about there, and yesterday it created a new high, so I'll potentially be aiming at least to where you're looking there. Yeah. But I'd need to see it break up above yet. Patience. I've been waiting all bloody morning.
Yeah, that's true. $15-minute closed. I'm gonna tighten these.
Don't you hate it when it does that? It makes them so big.
Yeah.
It's always off the screen, man.
Yeah, especially on like on MT4, it makes it too small.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I use TradingView, because it just fucks up the candles.
Yeah.
Ooh, alright, I'm gonna close gold here. I already took a sell earlier, so I'm good with that. What's this? Took long after price broke resistance and retested resistance. Stop loss 10 pips. Stop loss is down here. Got stopped out as didn't wait for candle to close. Closed back in the range and the opposite 2% loss. Yeah, I think your stop loss was here, and from what I can see, your entry was after this candle. So basically this candle was your entry candle. So when it closed bearish, I would have been out of the position because it closed bearish. That's how I would have tackled this trade, because if you took it on the 30-minute, then this candle should have gone up, but it didn't. It closed bearish, so that would have meant that, okay, you know what, resistance has been formed. Now there's a high chance for the next candle to go bearish, which it did.
So, it also didn't have a lot of momentum at that time.
Yeah.
Later on, when it happened and we had the rejection at the bottom, I thought it was going to create the same kind of option.
Yeah.
But that was the end of the hour, and then we had a pullback straight at the start of the next hour, which finished that off as well.
Exactly.
It was a shame. I think it's going to, though. It's just a matter of time.
Oh,
Ooh, nice close on gold.
yeah,
Yeah, good.
yeah,
Good.
it's respecting that area.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to take any chances.
I
Gold.
got the one out, the
Excuse me?
one buys.
Excuse me?
I got the one buys, the fake outs.
Yeah?
I got the buy of the fake outs.
Oh, nice.
Pips.
Salim, which candle is that? What time?
All right, give me a minute. I'll tell you. Yeah. The candle at 4:30 a.m. your time.
Okay.
Yeah, I got that one.
That bullish candle on gold that broke support, fake out, would you have seen that as a buy opportunity at the time? This one, no, because for price to go up, when price is moving bullish, you need price to come down, create a support, and then continue up. But it went up, the next one closed bearish. This does not mean price is going to go up. This means candle has closed bearish, which means that the next candle has a high probability of going bearish. So if this would have came down and stopped at 14, let's say 1487, then you would have said, okay, we're doing a retest to go up. But this candle closed back in the range, so there was no buys.
Hey Salim, what was your why did you take that trade going?
Wait. I have it here.
Oh, nice.
I'll send you my chart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put the chart already on the Slack London time. All right.
All right, someone else sent a chart. Let's take a look here. Ooh, what's this? Buy stop shown to have reached high numbers. Oh yeah, this buy stops make sense. This buy stops make sense. Absolutely. That's basically what I'm looking at too. I mean, right now GJ is ranging. You know, it's ranging between 14500 and 14300. This is a 20 pip range. 20 pip range. This means no trade, right? So you're going to be looking for, so let's say if price goes up, then we know we're heading up to like 146.50 and then all the way to 14700. But if it breaks support, then you know we're coming down. So if it breaks support, this is how you look for targets, right? Support is broken, you look left, there's this messy support here too, and the next one is down over here. Because you're looking at when was the next time the 1 hour candles started to consolidate. So you see price 140, 100. How big is this range?
How can I send the chart?
So you need
It's
to
the camera button at the top right.
Yeah. But now I wanna paste the link. Which part from the link?
In the Zoom chat, you could send it in the the whole link. You could send the whole link.
The whole link. All right, I'll do it now.
would you not consider support at 144.40? 144.40. No, it's in the middle of a range, man. What kind of support are you looking at? See, here's the thing. What most people do, which is very, very normal, I used to do the same thing, is that to look for supports on smaller time frames, right? Because if you look on the 15-minute now, this support at 144.40 or 14400 makes sense, but it's in a smaller time frame. You have to understand that. Higher time frame, play off the higher time frames, you will get less opportunities, but your opportunities will have higher probabilities of winning. Where can I get trader's view for laptop? I don't know. Oh, what's this? I can see a bearish trend on the 4 hour with the current 4 hour tapping into a zone. Potentially could go further down. Yes, see your support at 140-400-ish. That makes sense. Oh, actually right here. So I'll wait for this to break. Because if you look on the 1 hour, this 1 hour candle made a high and it has a low, you know. So this price needs to break the low to say, okay, maybe now we have some confirmations to continue down to the next big consolidation, which was right over here. And after this, we had a consolidation down here at 139, you know, 850. Like all this area here, this is just noise, you know, like this wick down, this is noise, this move down and move back up, this is an impulse move, so this is also noise, you know, this is also noise. But this is hard support, because look how many candles, look at the amount of candles they were consolidating here. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So for 7 hours price consolidated at 140, 100. So this is a strong area. Has the timing for the stream changed? No, timing of the world has changed. Some part of the world went back 1 hour or forward 1 hour.
The world changed. That's
Yeah.
spinning the other way now.
Ooh, Egypt's breaking down. Yeah, Egypt should come down. Okay, someone else sent a chart. Why did you ignore this support? Oh, this is... So this is a range here. So see, this is sort of like a range. You see this? This is sort of like a range here, right? So when price will be in momentum, I'm anticipating it's going to break within this range and come down to this support of this range. This area right here. This GJ price action is really messy, you know, this is actually very, very messy. So that's why for my simplicity, I'm looking at this area down over here. So if it breaks this, my target is going to be 140, 100. You know, if you're being very conservative, you can have your target down here at 140, 200. But I'm looking at this area down here because based on my experience, what I've seen is that it will come down to the bottom of the consolidation support if it's in momentum, but price action is very messy here in GJ. Matthias, I think, yeah, I'm gonna message you in Zoom here. Ooh, nice. Someone took EJ cells. Yeah, I think these cells should work out because now, you know, it closed below the support, you know, so it should like kind of retest 12800, kind of dance around and ultimately continue down till 12700. When you're looking at a chart like GJ right now, this is very, very, very hard to break down. Very, very, very hard. The only way you can, yeah, gotcha. The only way you can easily break down is if you have seen this happen over and over again multiple times. So that then you use your past experience and based on that you plot the chart. If you plot gold, see how easy gold chart is to plot. You know, especially on the 1 hour. Resistance, support. This move up was kind of like a fake out, and this should continue down. Simple. But GJ here, very, 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 very hard to plot. Would you consider EJ easier than GJ? No, depends. I mean, both are easier. I don't trade EJ as much as I trade GJ. Like, even if you're looking for, like, you know, sells on EJ, maybe your stop is going to be at 128.50, because then you're basing off the fact that, okay, we've broken support, candle closed bearish, now it should continue down. The only way your sells are not gonna, I mean, if I was trying to take sells, and the only way my sells are not going to work out is if this 15-minute closes bullish back in the range. Then I would say, okay, you know what, my sells are now invalid, and then I'll close my positions. How about analyzing GJ in 4-hour time frame? It's way easier. Yes, let's take a look here. Yeah, I mean, if this 4-hour goes bearish, see, here's the thing. Now, on the 1 hour, it looks messier than the 4-hour. 30-minute looks really, really, really messy. You know, look at that. So messy. You know, all this range here, a lot of it is due to the fact that there are interest rates tomorrow. You know, because it's very rare that GJ ranges like this. Like, look at this range here. Look at all this range here. We have interest rates tomorrow. So maybe that's going to break GJ out of this. Look at this daily range too, man. This is just horrible. But looking at the daily, it does seem like daily wants to push up, because it did close above all these candles here to the left, like on the 23rd October, 24th October, 29th, 30th, 31st. You know, this yesterday's candle closed above all those, so it needs to find some sort of support here to continue pushing up. Because this is a massive liquidity zone here around 141.200 and 141.400. Massive, massive liquidity zone. All this area here. But if the 4-hour goes bearish, then just by looking at the 4-hour, if it breaks below this area, there's a high chance it's going to come down to this area, right? Because there's this clean candle here to the left. Like, if you guys have seen market, we talk about this all the time, like clean traffic to the left. So if there's confirmations for sells, that's where it's going to go based on the 4-hour. Higher time frame targets. So, you know, we have to wait. EJ did a retest 12800. Interest rates are today. No, they're not. They are tomorrow. Looks like someone's day went back too. Look, it's tomorrow.
That's because the world changed, don't forget.
Yeah.
Some people are like a whole day ahead now.
Someone changed the whole day.
I did have to, I just looked myself, I was like, I'm sure it's tomorrow.
Yeah. Martin sent the chart. GU 4-hour target, entry candle with stop loss below it. Okay, support created. Bullish breakout. Yeah, now you need this candle to go bullish. This one here. But at this point, I might bring my stop down here. Just tighten up right there. That's what I would do.
Hey, good morning, Raja.
Hey, good morning.
Looking at gold?
Yeah, I think gold's gonna continue down here at least to 1484 and then continue breaking down.
You look at the daily because we still need to fill the daily wick, so...
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, my friend. See, that's what I'm basing this off of, you know? Like, it did a fake out. There's a high chance it's going to come to 1484, then even higher chance for it to break the support and go further down to 1480.
Yep.
So I think we'll get that move by London close. Alright, someone else sent the chart. What's this? 50 pip target, GCAD, double top, perfect. So you need a bearish candle here on 1 hour, I think, and then resistance and take a trade. Are you giving live signal? We gave a gold sell signal earlier. That was actually a good signal. Wow, still falling. That $1,000 account is at 4,000 now. Wonder if I can let it run. I'm afraid that gold spikes up again. Well, if you're afraid, then you can't take any trades. Wow, look at that drop.
Yeah, it should continue because
Yes.
if you look at all those liquidity wicks on 4 hour to the left.
Oh shit.
Okay, yo, don't get too hyped up, but I'm just saying, around 1480, 1475, I think is where we'll go, and then we'll figure out if we want to like reverse from that area or if you want to like break it.
I get 74 myself. I was looking at it yesterday actually because it moved so quick, but it's a bit of exhaustion now to potentially go further, I think.
Oh, it's a nasty drop. It's very nice. Beautiful. I wonder who else held the sells here in gold.
Put in a nice hold.
Yeah, that fake out was perfect.
Yeah.
But for scalping, where your stop losses are tighter, no, stop loss is not tight. Stop loss is logical. You know, like I mean, I have a lot of people, you know, they take a trade and they'll say, "Oh man, my stop is 4 pips," and then ask, "Is it logical?" No, it's, you know, it's just 4 pips because I want to lose 4 pips. Doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you take a sell here, your stop is going to be at least, you know, 12, 13 pips. Because if you say, oh yeah, mine is like 10 pips, then that's within that candle range. It can get stopped out easy. Man, look at that. See, fake out. So nice. People re-entered cells again. Nice.
And just game.
Yeah. I re-entered too later when it started to drop. EJ is also dropping a little bit. Perfect. I'm not in EJ, just in gold. I got stops.
Yeah, that was a nice move because that was really good stop on EJ.
Yeah. I got stops at break even on EJ.
Ah, nice. Oh, it went back, or
Excuse me?
oh, you were actually trading it? You said?
Yes. No.
Oh.
On gold.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So I thought you said EJ.
I'm gonna wait for that retest on gold. Enter there. Yo, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Alright, cool. Is it like very dull?
No, it's fine.
Yeah, it seems alright.
It's just my computer. I'm gonna have to get a microphone.
Oh, nice. We have another caller on the phone now.
Hey, Rakeel.
Yes, hello.
Where are you guys gonna be this weekend?
In Chicago.
Yeah, like what the location? Which location? I'd love to meet you, and if Ted's gonna be there. That'd be awesome.
Oh, yeah, Ted's not going to be there. It's only going to be me. We're staying at the Hyatt.
Awesome.
Hyatt?
The Hyatt.
Yeah, the Hyatt. I can't say it. Hyatt.
Yeah, get ready. It's gonna be really cold.
Yeah, I know. It's the same thing in Toronto, man. It's like, yeah, it's cold here too.
Interesting move on EJ. Probably going to push back up.
There you go. Got gold cells. Holding gold cell, and here's my chart. Okay, let's take a look here. Gold is testing low. No, I think gold is gonna drop. Gold will keep on dropping.
I have take profit for gold at 14.75.
Nice. Yeah, this should continue dropping. If you look on the daily is flipping bearish now, you know. And this is a support. Gold has broken now 1484. So now essentially gold should stay below 1484. This area right here. a few pips on that. Fake out closed because it was playing. I was here earlier. Sold. Nice. Yeah, this was great. Had resistance, broke out, closed back inside, did a retest. You know, if it couldn't break above, then there's a high chance it's going to break below. Break below what? Break below support. So this was support. Broke below support. So now there's an even higher chance that the next 30-minute candle could do a retest of 1484 and then continue down to 1481. Let's see what happens. Ooh, EJ closed bullish at that support. What are you gonna do, EJ? Are you gonna is this a retest candle? Most times this could be like a retest candle because it hasn't closed back above that support. You know, if it closes back above there, then the sells are no longer valid. Because looking at where the candle is closing, and the 30-minute candle hasn't closed yet, so we don't know where it's gonna close. If it closes below this 128.10ish, whatever, then there's a high chance it's gonna continue moving down. But if it closes above it, then you know there's a high chance it's not going to go down.
So do you think even if it closes bullish below that resistance level,
yeah,
that it still will continue down?
Yeah, I think looking at it right now, I think what it's trying to do is it basically created a low, right? So this is a low it made breaking support. So essentially now it should come up, create some sort of a resistance, and then come down to retest the low.
Yeah.
You know, but for that to work, it needs to stay below 120, you know, 800-ish.
Yeah, gotcha.
But if this 15 minutes, see now it's closing back above that range, so then, you know, the confirmation of it going down is going to get lower and lower. Unless we get the next one or two 15-minute candles that start to break below that area, then you can say, okay, now we're heading back down.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
I need coffee, Jesus. Oh, I've had a banana. Go eat a banana, man. Coffee is for closers. If you can close trades on a timely manner, you get coffee.
I haven't made a trade today. I've had loads of coffee. Maybe that's a rule.
Yeah. You know, I wouldn't have looked at gold if Daniel wouldn't have said anything in the chat.
I was looking at it. If I looked at the 4 hour, I didn't really like how it's set out, but now it's changed now. It's completely different. So
Yeah, the 4
early
hour.
on I wasn't keen, but then when it faked out, that was nice.
Yeah, when I looked at the 1 hour and Daniel was in buys, I'm like, no man, this is gonna head down.
Indicated that.
I literally took sells too, just to tell him, yo, look, we took sells. I bet when gold touched 1481, someone will say, buy gold or can I buy gold? Yeah, that's exactly what's gonna happen. Yeah, GJ, I wouldn't expect much from GJ. I mean, this is just garbage. Yuck. All this is stupid. Just garbage. Wait for interest rates for GJ.
I think that's potentially what's happening now, actually.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about this morning.
Was Ken in here? Ken? Yeah, I think Ken was talking. Hey Ken, if you wanna meet up tomorrow evening, you know, I'm down for that too. Well, then we can meet up on Saturday too. I'm gonna be landing at like 5 tomorrow, so we can have like supper or whatever.
Yeah, that works. I can send you a DM on Instagram.
Oh, perfect. Or actually, here, I'll give you my number. Just WhatsApp me.
Alright, cool.
Can.
Yeah, just chuck it on the stream, dude. It's like,
Yeah, no.
can you imagine?
500 people sending messages. Hey.
I'm like, whoa.
Danny Boy's torch has been put out. Yes, Danny Boy has failed the torch.
Flamed out. I lost $1,000.
Again?
I was betting Danny could have did it, man, but you know.
Oh yeah, he's at break even now. So sad. Yes, Peter, coming tomorrow. Come through, Peter. Come tomorrow. Let's have a little mini party tomorrow. Yeah, gold should continue down. See, the 30-minute candle is about to close in like 6 minutes. You know, so it just needs to close a stronger bearish than this. Otherwise, it could kind of like range here, and by NY open or by like 9 a.m. it's going to continue dropping more. But it has to stay below 1484. That's the condition. Why is gold not moving down? Because gold moved down, now it's just taking a breather. I've made many progress since trading. I really needs help. Oh, I haven't made any. Oh yeah. I think the main problem people have in trading is over risking and over trading. That's it. There's no other issues. Over risking and over trading. That's the biggest problems people have. And the way to fix that problem is to just stop over trading. Like, you need to understand that Forex is going to give you an opportunity to make money maybe once or twice a day. That's it. And when you start off, you're going to start off by making maybe like, $2-3 a day. If you're only focusing on 1 or 2 moves. But you have to really understand that's going to grow over time. Because when you start a business, like everyone wants their business to have like franchises and sell lots of merchandise, have contacts and this and that, but that comes after 2-3 years. It takes time. Like, when people say, oh yeah, like 90% people lose 90% of whatever the fuck they lose. The same thing goes for businesses. Within the first year, 90% businesses fail because they try to rush the process. They try to do things more than what they're capable of at that time. No one wants to give it time. Just give it time, and it's going to scale out automatically.
A lot of people give up as well. That's a big percentage, I bet.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't give it the time.
You don't give it a time. Because I remember when I started to get very comfortable, I focused on, like paying my bills a month. So I know the first 2-3 months I made around maybe like $250 a month, $300 a month. By the 9th month I made my rent. By the 9th month I made like $2,200 in my 9th month. So it took that long to get to that level. But it's not gonna happen in a day or in a week or in a month. It takes that time. So just gotta be mindful of that.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
Hello.
What's this? PM Jones is speaking in tongue about whiskey and cars. What's this gonna do? Remove tariffs on UK goods to Scotch. Imagine Trump says that. Oh, I'm getting hacked again.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh, what's going on?
Uh-oh, that's it, man. We're all done.
Yeah.
No more signals.
We're done? What happened?
Done so.
Got
Found the right house.
We lost the microphone.
Hello?
Hello.
Rakeel?
Is everyone okay?
That $20,000 PC finally flamed out.
Yeah.
You still alive, Rakeel?
Yeah, I'm still here. It's this mouse, man.
Oh,
This-
yo,
muted.
come on. Come on.
yeah, I'm still here. I'm alive.
Alright, cool.
Yeah, see this your JPY, this candle now it's closing below 12800. So now this gives you more confidence that it should continue down now.
Yeah, it's looking really good.
I
Yeah,
was looking
look
at
at
it.
that.
Just to the left, there's a very similar candle that wicks in to the line and back out.
Yeah.
You see it? That was a bullish one, and then it ended up a bearish straight out.
Yeah.
It's very similar.
Yeah, because this is beautiful. Now you can expect the next one to, you know, continue moving down.
Someone was calling me earlier.
Oh, me. What's up?
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing. I had entries at, let me see. The 14. Yeah, 14.8 gold. And I was trying to hold, right? And I just woke up and I see that I think in London it got to like 1489. We just retraced all the way back. But now on this 30-minute candle, there's like a lot of rejection on the bottom. So it's probably supporting. Yeah. I'm just gonna hold the sale. Buys.
So, you know, this would look good. If you're looking for sells here, I think a stop. This would be like a nice 5-pip stop too at 128.40 and then continue moving up. Wow, this is a small range too. It's like 9-10 pip range. Yeah, it could still work. I mean, this is a perfect way market has set up. Broke below support, candle retested that support. The 30-minute candle is also closing. You know, it's closing like a doji-ish, but it makes sense on the smaller time frames that we made a low, came up to retest that area, and now, you know, we should continue moving down. If it moves up, that's a probability of this setup not working.
I think gold is gonna start moving up again.
No, we're going to 1475.
Is that Constantine?
Yo,
What up? What?
what's up?
Poppin'.
Because, bro, look at the daily on gold. It's flipping bearish, and we haven't even filled the daily wick yet.
I was going based on the week, and weekly we filled. I got filled. And I got even a little bit more than filled. So I don't think it's gonna go down any further. You know, that's but
Yeah, if I was taking buys, I'd actually have buy stops at like 1490, 1491.
no, I'll have buys right now.
All right, bro. Just be careful.
No. I'm saying based on that support created right now, where Rakeel has that mark and that rejection. One second. Here, that rejection and support being made. You know, this is a very strong support here, and since we broke that previous loan box here, which that's where I had my buys, my initial buys.
There's no confirmation for buys here. Like, candle is bearish.
I'm waiting for this next candle. If this next candle goes bullish,
Oh, okay. You're waiting for it to go bullish, and then based on that, you're going to take buys.
right?
Oh,
right.
perfect.
Because I see this box right here, and you know, little size of rejection in the bottom, and this one, it's a big range, right?
Yeah.
So this little this one right here, That's what's giving me some.
Just don't get caught in the lower time frame. Look at daily, and I'm just saying the daily hasn't filled the daily wick fully.
Oh, I'm just waiting for this one to see how it turns out.
Aegis coming up. Alright, what's this chart here? Oh, wow. 10 pip range. A break above 4-hour resistance on low time frame, then up to, yep, this is perfect. Break below 4-hour resistance on low time frame to 126.50. This, man, this chart is really, really nice. Who sent this chart? Akande Ulufemi. This is an amazing markup of charts. Very nice. So beautiful. Based it on the 4-hour. Oh, so you based it from here to all the way to down. Nice, I like this. So nice. So structured. Okay, what's this? Gold, 30 minute. For me, it breaks support, but respected for you. Did I draw it wrong? Nope, you didn't draw it wrong. You draw it based on what you saw was correct. You know, I draw based on what I saw was correct. I draw it based off of this, like, recent rejections from support. Right over here, right over here. Because when price is heading down, I'm looking to see what's to the left. So when this candle went bearish, I looked left. I'm like, okay, there's a support here, and there's another one here. So in my head, I said to myself that if this candle closes below support, then there's a high chance for it to continue down. You know, but for buys, there's no confirmation for buys right now. Just like as Max said, you need a bullish candle to close for buys. But so far, it's heading down. Candles are bearish, so it's bearish. Unless you get a rejection like you know, like your JPY right now, like the your JPY 15-minute candle has broken the high of the previous 15-minute. So this says that like the sells are becoming less and less because now it's breaking the high. Oh, there we go. You know, so you really need to be fluid in knowing what the small time frames are doing, and based on that, where the high time frame is going to go. Is gold rise to 1505.50? I highly doubt it.
So now you see gold, the new 15-minute candle. It's breaking above the previous one.
Yes. So now you'd need that. So you would need that to close bullish.
Yeah.
Yes.
That will be my confirmation.
Perfect.
I'll send it to you if you want.
I am in 0 trades. I only had a gold sell earlier. Curtis Myton, what's your opinion on Euro USD at the moment? More downside after the small upside correction. Curtis Myton, you see I don't have the Euro USD chart here, so you need to send a chart. If you don't know how to send a chart, here's a link here. You can go to this link and you can learn how to send a chart and the rules of the stream. Yeah, see, when the candle is, if I was in EJ sells, I would have closed at this point because it would have said to me, okay, we've broken the high of the previous one, so now there's a less chance for it to continue down unless it breaks the low. So waiting is really, really, really important. And a lot of times I see people get frustrated. You know, they take a trade doesn't work out, they get frustrated. You know, they get really riled up. That's something you don't have to do. Don't do that. If you're getting frustrated, then stop trading. Trading isn't for you then if you're getting frustrated. Oh wow. So Draghi really said that the euro will never be as strong as it was and will continue to fall. That's crazy. See, gold now. Gold sells now are also diminishing because previous 15-minute closed bullish. This one is closing back in this range. So if this closes back in the range, then the idea for buy increases because this support is being held now.
Alright, so here's my chart and then my 2 entries. I'll send it out to you. Okay.
I'm still holding gold sell. Should I close at break even? Nash Abraham, if you want to ask those questions, you can leave the stream because that's totally on you. That depends on your risk management. Oh, okay. Waiting for this 15-minute to close bullish. Take buys. Entries at 1485. Entries at 1485. Nice. I think the first safe target could be, you know, this area
here. Yeah. I'll partial out on that area and leave the rest to 1488.
And then this area right over here. Because
yeah, my runner got stopped out of break even. I'm waiting for this hour to close, so we'll see.
Because this move up, this was a fake out before it started to come down.
Hey Raja.
Hey.
Excuse me. Do you think that the reason for the EJ trade not working out is because the 4 hours in like a range?
Yeah, this could be it. But at the other hand, the smaller time frames are going to build the overall higher time frames, right? Okay. So this was a perfect setup to go down, but the probability of it not working out wasn't there.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
What did the 1 hour look like? Let me see the 1 hour.
1 hour was bearish. It was heading bearish, and now it's coming back up. So now it's coming back in the range.
I don't know. I think that line needs to be a little bit more down from looking at it. That's probably why it didn't work out.
Oh yeah, it was just approximation. You know, it's just approximation. Like I would take this trade every day, all day, every day, and make money. You know, but there are 20% chance it doesn't work. So just...
look at gold.
Oh, gold chest.
Come on, gold. Big machine.
Man, the way you guys talk, I thought that shit was skyrocketing.
Yeah, me too. Oh fuck. Mac got anxiety over there.
But I just like that flip.
Man, gold moved like 3 pips up. You got anxiety. You're like, oh shit.
Yo, Mac, you can't be hyping up the crowd like that. That's my job.
I got. Let me see. I had entries of 84, and that's 5 pips. I'm good.
Oh, UJ! Holy shit!
5 pips is good enough. This is gonna keep going up, you know. Come on, gold. If it breaks a little resistance at 1489, we'll be set 1500 chain.
So what about 1495, Mac?
Ninad.
Yes, sir.
How are you, buddy?
I'm okay. Just shoot my mother-in-law away.
You shot your mother-in-law away?
No, man. Just left her train station for her home back.
Wait, Ninad, I could barely hear you. You're cutting off.
Euro USD.
That's okay. Leave it.
Go, Rakeel. Okay, so back to goal. Can I annotate something? The first target you said will be here, right?
Yes.
Okay, then second target will be 1489, which is major resistance. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Well, why do you have that area of rejection here? That's what I want to know.
Because this move up was a fake out.
Oh, yeah, no. So, you're going based on this box here?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Alright, I'm almost there.
Yeah, I'm just because apparently Trump is definitely going to tweet something. I'm reading off this website, and so I'm gonna
The website is telling you Trump's going to tweet something?
Yeah, how's that website? What
Let
website
me
is
tell you Trump's going to tweet something.
it's the one that Jeevan uses, the Forex Live.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Website says they're gonna Trump something. I mean
Trump something, yeah.
something. That's the term we use.
How
That.
can a website predict the man?
Right.
That is so stupid, man.
I don't know.
Come on, man.
The term is called trumping. Right? You're gonna Trump something.
He's treating. He's treating.
The term is called trumping.
If he does tweet something, I'm gonna have my buy stops or sell stops ready. Trust.
Bro, I'm up 7 pips. What are you talking about, guy?
You broke your plan. You said you would wait for the 15-minute candle.
You did.
You did it.
I waited. What are you talking about?
You did
bro?
it, man. And you said that in the next one. Even Rakeel has you recorded. You can, but you can.
Bro,
God
damn it! Look at my chart. Bro.
Imagine we're arguing about trading.
Pull up the chart, man. Pull up the chart.
At least once in your lifetime, do a chart, bro. Look at the call out. The call out specifically says this 15-minute candle. You see this one?
Oh, it's tough to tell.
Oh my God! This because
You guys are...
I missed it just by a little bit. No, it's this
Oh, yeah,
one.
look, right here. Mac had his chart right here. And then before, boom, after. Before.
Oh, no, that's because it moved. It moved.
It moved, yeah, it's true.
That was because the Trump. It got trumped.
Yep.
See, thing happens.
Your EJ line should be at 127.85. Oh yeah, that's fine. See, now guys are gonna come out of the woodworks and they'll say why it was a buy. You know, this is the problem. There are too many hindsight traders. Like a lot of people are gonna say, oh look, it was buys when it goes in buys. You know, but no one's gonna have the balls to say, okay, no man, this is a buy, not a sell.
What, you talking about me?
No, YouTube.
Oh.
Yeah, some guys are just saying, oh yeah, it was buys and this and that, blah blah.
Yeah. The guy right now talking with this guy. Shut up, bro.
Hey, we can't be rude to people, Mac. Come on.
Oh, they're being rude to me. Okay, whatever. Anyway, so I took that as confirmation, so I'm in buy. So I'm up 7 pips.
GJ retest, waiting for candle to close. You know, to be honest with GJ, I wouldn't touch GJ till tomorrow. That's what because this is so hard to trade. Like, look at your own analysis, whoever sent this chart. Look at your own analysis, just so difficult. God damn.
Not to mention barcodes too.
Yeah.
Yeah, straight barcodes. I had a sale during London, and I'm still down from 9 pips. It has not moved a little bit. I'm just gonna close it.
Gold is back in this range too now.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what the 8 o'clock will bring.
This is a super secret strategy here to not take losses. Put it in the corner here for everybody to see. If you follow this strategy,
Yeah, we got news at 8:30 and a speech at 8.
Is it a Fed speech?
Yeah, FOMC.
Let me check. What time you said?
8 and 8:30.
8 and 8:30. Yeah, I'm not even looking at Forex Factory anymore. I'm just going through investing.com.
Gold going down, question mark. Gold going down, question mark. Wow, man. People are just, man, listen, you need to do your analysis. You need to send charts. When you come on the stream, you can't just say, is gold buy? Is gold going? It makes no sense. It just tells me you're new to trading. Maybe you want to change your life situations, which is all perfect. But you can't come on here and say gold down, question mark. What if someone says yes down, you take a sell, and then it, you know, it goes up?
Oh, who's saying that? Let me see.
What about that? Because like we have enough people on Instagram calling out like magic numbers and magic trades, and you know, a lot of guys follow them, and then they like, you know, like, man, yesterday a lot of people blew accounts yesterday on gold sells. A lot of people had a very, very bad day yesterday. That entire sell, every time gold went down to a new support, people bought, and gold punished them. Then gold went up, and then gold dropped again, and they got punished again.
Yeah, and I hope people realized why it was doing that, because if you were smart and go look at the higher time frame, you had, I mean, the daily has so much range as a support zone, and it's 100 pip range which you're dealing with, and if you're gonna counter trend, then you know, might as well sign up with Sean Lee.
You know, when gold came down to 14.95, after that I had no analysis. I was like, yeah, I don't know where the fuck it's going now, because it already fell so much. I was like, yeah, fuck, I don't know.
Yeah, I waited till 1480. That was like the my demand zone.
Yeah, that's like the supports of supports. The weekly.
Come on, I'm up wide. Up. Last 15 minutes close to no top wick. Last 30 minutes has a lot of rejection to the bottom, so I'm good.
Yeah, Mac, if you're in buys, I think you should be good, because you
I
have
should be good. Yeah.
rejection here, rejection here. If this closes bullish,
I'm gonna have my first TP where your area is at, which is 1488.
hello darkness, my old friend. All right, Nicole is here. I'm gonna wait for Nicole to take a trade and close the trade.
We close the trade.
Holy, who's that? Constantine.
That's Constantine.
Yo, Alfaker.
Yo.
I think with gold, we can probably test the 1490 area as well.
I'm gonna close one at 1487. Q has the rejection zone, and then leave the other one running.
If the candle closes bullish but volume is a bit low, would that still still a continuation regardless of volume? Well, the thing with that is you have to look at the time frames, right? If you're looking at the 15 minute is a weaker time frame than the 30 minute. You know, if let's say we're looking at the 30-minute time frame here, and what we see is that it's closing bullish, then it gives a higher chance for the next 30-minute to continue up. In the same way, if we're looking at the 1 hour, and let's say if this was the 1 hour candle right here, you know, for hypothetically speaking. So this would have a much more higher weight than the 15 minute, because the 1 hour is much more stronger. Same goes for the 4 hour and the daily and the weekly, you know. So when people look for confirmations on the 15 minute, sometimes they are very weak confirmations, you know. That's why then you go a time frame up higher, the 30 minute, you know. You look for confirmations on the 30 minute, those are much stronger than the 15 minute, which is why, like, you know, most times I say, hey, you know, the 30 minute close bullish, I'll put a stop loss below here, blah 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 blah, you know. So candles closing on higher time frames are much stronger confirmations than the lower time frames. At the same time, like, I mean, if you're going to look for confirmation on the 15 minute, you're going to get more opportunities with regards to, like, you know, less opportunities on the 1 hour, but that doesn't mean that those opportunities are going to be good opportunities, right? Because on the 1 hour, if you get less opportunities, those are much solid opportunities, but you got to wait more. It's kind of like you go to have like a $200 steak, you know, you're going to pay more, but the steak is going to be good. Or you can go to Kelsey's and have like a $20 steak. You know, the steak is going to be okay, but you're paying less.
Who the hell goes to Kelsey's for the steak? I want to know. If anybody does that, you should just be banned. Like,
man, you went me 2 years ago, don't you remember?
what?
No, it's a joke.
Are you fried? I never get steak from Kelsey's. It's like the worst place to grab food from. Like, they just have good finger food. That's it.
Yeah.
Finger food.
Alright, someone sent a chart. Someone sent a chart here. Jojo most wanted. What the fuck is this? This is nothing. What is this?
Oh my god.
You know, sometimes people send charts thinking that we are mind readers.
No, he put a thing here that says when prices in a range, it means go shit. Meaning,
Oh, yeah, no, you need to write all that on the chart. You need to write it on the chart.
That's why he has his name, Jojo Most Wanted, for not labeling charts.
Yeah.
yeah, FBI.
Oh, someone else sent a chart. Nice. A lot of people are watching that intro video now. I can see the views are going up on that video. Sending charts too. What's this? Your JPY. Your support line. Why? Never broke real support. My thing was, look at this. Let's take a look at this on the 30 minute here. This is why. Okay, so price had resistance here, resistance here. We all can agree on that, right? And then had support here and support here. So when price had support here, I'm asking why, you know. And when I look left, because all your answers are questions are answered when you look left. When I look left, I see a resistance here. I go left, I see another resistance here. So I say, okay, perfect. If this is resistance, this should be support. Simple, you know. And if price stayed below, let's say 12800, then I'm looking left at, okay, if it stays below, there's a clean candle that went up. So that was the trade I was counting on.
I think this next 15 minute, if we don't get a pushback, I should be.
My one concern is this hourly on gold has to close bullish.
It doesn't have to. Like, who says it has to?
Well, 8 o'clock we get a little push for pull too, right?
It's better confirmation, fucker. What don't you understand?
Okay.
But
You're
you
gonna
have
pick me up, bro.
The
I'm
market.
saying stop playing with your hair, man.
You just don't want me to win. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, exactly, man.
It's 8 a.m. We're not gonna get a pushback. Next 15 minute candle's gonna push up to 1487, and I'm gonna hit TP, and then I'm gonna rub it on your face. Be like,
all right. Wealth Mindset sent a chart. All right. Ooh, each is going up here. Damn.
the reason why I think we're not gonna get a pushback is because, as Rakeel said, we had a fake out. and it's not. I don't think there's a volume to.
I just checked the weather. Yo, Raja, how's it 1 degrees right now?
Because it's November.
Bro, this is like December weather.
It's 1 degree right now.
Yo, that's like what? Almost 32 Fahrenheit.
Yeah, 32.
Bruh.
What's this here? Retest before downside. I don't know. If you're still looking for sells, there are no sells on EJ. I mean, we specifically talked about this. We talked about this, that if candle breaks the high, there is no more sells. If you're still holding sells, then may the Forex gods be with you. Yeah.
Morning, afternoon.
Hey, good morning.
Hello, Simon.
Hello.
Been allowed out of his cage.
What a load of shit this is today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see GJ?
Huh?
You see GJ?
Yeah, GJ's
Garbage.
Yeah, it's been annoying me all morning.
Yeah.
Kind of got bored of it now, to be fair.
They're waiting for the rates tomorrow.
I think you're right.
I think GBP's gonna fall.
We've got a lot of the election campaign stuff starting today as well, so there's a lot of talk as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a jump at some point. If someone says something that someone likes.
Look at the weekly on GJ. It's like I think it's topped out and it needs a correction after that huge move.
Oh yeah.
Hasn't come down a bit.
Are you thinking of coming down as far as the previous weeklies? Because I was kind of looking at myself yesterday.
Yeah, why not? I mean, look at all the tops. It's kind of like. Thing is, it's not given a good signal for a sell yet, but.
I think that the interest rate stuff might be like some kind of catalyst for that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just going to be a non-event like it has been all year. They're not going to do anything with the rates. They're just going to continue to say, pressure. We're still worried about the effects of Brexit. Blah blah blah. It's just going to be the same old rubbish.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, what's this? Gold analysis.
Man, did anyone catch that gold drop yesterday? Jeez.
No, I missed a lot. I didn't get in any of it at all. I was already in GJ buys.
I'm annoyed. I had gold sells like in the morning when it looked like it was breaking down, and then it started being choppy and rangy. So I closed it out, and then it
1507 or something. 6.
Yeah, I had some salts earlier too, scalp, and then when they closed below the one, they punched below the 1,500. I took another sell and I rolled that sell all the way down.
Man, it's good work.
That's a lot of tips.
Hey Raja, you know that chart from Wealth Mindset on your YouTube page?
I don't know which one.
Oh no, it was that blank one. I was just trying to stay you up. Yeah. I was just trying to stay up, mate.
Yeah, I looked at it and then I closed it.
Yeah, no, just gave me nothing, mate.
Nothing.
1504 is where I had the sales from and closed.
I'm already 40 pips up, so I'm about to hit target, and I'll call it a day.
And EJ is just ranging. Love it. See that resistance there at 120,900? That's monthly resistance.
This one.
So yeah, that's going to take some serious pushing. Yep.
You're thinking of.
Jack Long sent a chart. Let's take a look here. Jack Long. Oh yeah, I looked at this chart. What's retest before further? I mean, this makes no sense. There's no downside on EJ unless it breaks below one. It breaks and stays below 12800.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello.
Come on. Let me get 9 more.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Euro JPY buy stop. Yeah, I was looking at that too. I was thinking more of like 120, 920. But there's this resistance area here too. So what I would want to see on EJ is a break up and kind of like come down to create some sort of a support to go back up again, because this is a very strong resistance. Look how many times prices came up here and rejected it.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at EJ on slightly, zoom out of it on slightly higher time frame, it's just in the middle of a big ass range.
Yeah, you're right.
Just sent my chart in the chat, Rakeel. But yeah, it's basically, it's a range. And it's in the middle
Well,
of it.
if you think about it, if you look even on the monthly, we should continue down. It's so bearish on the monthly. And like it always comes up to retest this resistance that we're at now, and it will just push straight down. Should. But there's no confirmation for that yet.
Oh, Simon has it labeled perfectly. These are the two moves each is going to do. This up over here or this down over here.
Yeah.
Kind of no man's land at the minute I see it.
Yeah, agreed.
The thing is, if you have to do analysis for more than a minute on a pair, then there's
And the thing is, I was talking about this to some of my guys yesterday. Well, actually, before gold dropped, like why try and catch or the shitty move in the range when you can just wait, and when it breaks out of that range, it's going to be a huge move, and you catch that. Like yesterday, well done to everyone that caught gold.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no one was expecting it to drop that much, but you knew once it broke out of that range it was in, you were going to get a decent drop.
Yeah, jump.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's what gold does. If you look at a gold chart, and it does a big move, then it ranges, then it does a big move, then it ranges. It's just how it moves.
I nearly took the little retracement at 1500. I nearly took an entry there, but I just wasn't keen. It would have been a good shout, to be fair, but like you said, I didn't expect it to go that far. But it would have been another good entry point.
Yeah, and now everyone's saying, buyers, but
Yeah. I've just done a 4 hour myself as kind of just stuck. So
because it's just trade. I think Rakeel showed it a minute ago. The weekly time frame is just come to the other end of the range again.
Yep.
Not broken out of it.
I mean, there will be trades in there, but I mean, for me, looking at 4 hour, I can't see an option myself.
Oh, there's definitely, he definitely trades in there.
Yeah.
But shit, if you caught that move yesterday, it should be done for the month.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about no more today. That's it for sure.
That was like nearly 300 moves yesterday, that daily candle, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was mad. Yeah.
Alright guys, so first trade of the day here, GBP CHF. Long, up a couple pips, hopefully if I can hold it one for here on YouTube. Alright guys, so it's 7:49 here. I just pulled the trade down 7.
So I closed one position on gold and I'm good.
Yeah, looks good, man. That's good effort.
Thank you.
Someone messaged me saying, "Who's that Aussie in the group talking? Bloody Aussies." And that guy's from New Zealand. That's Daniel, mate.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Good on it, Aussie.
Oh, being New Zealand? Nah.
No, he's like, "Who's that Aussie?" Alright.
Yeah, bro.
Someone sent a chart here. Euro USD. Let's take a look. Oh, already fuck. This guy's sending the same chart over and over again. If you send the same chart over and over again, it's not going to give you a different result. It's going to give you the same result. I mean, it was Euro USD. I know it was Euro USD. I mean,
that guy must be Aussie too.
What do you want me to say to this chart? I mean, your idea was sells, it didn't work out, so there's nothing else to talk about. You had a stop loss got hit. I mean, what else is there? Nothing. you have to understand when your trade is done, you're done with that idea. You need to move on. You know, because most time what happens when people take a loss, they'll still stick to that loss. They'll say, oh, but this was this, but this was that, but just keep complaining. It doesn't help anyone. You know, then you need to see that, okay, why did it not work out? Was it just a failing probability, or was it that you missed something out? You know, here on your JPY, to me, this was a failing probability. You know, but now when I look in hindsight, you know, now when I look at hindsight, I'm like, okay, you know what, maybe the 30-minute candle was, like, you know, bearish, but it wasn't as bearish as I'd hoped it would have been.
Weaker, yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. That's all I take away from this trade, and then I move on. I'm not gonna sit on this trade and say, oh man, but this was this, I'm still holding, blah, you know, no, that's not gonna help me.
It's a bad call jumping on a trade that you've just lost on, but just re-jumping on it.
Yeah, exactly. You can't just keep jumping in and out. Gold right now went up to 1487 where Max said it would, and now, you know, now it's just starting to range between 1487 and 1484.
Yeah, I took profits as soon as it hit 1487.
Managed to close before that little wick down. That's good work.
Yeah. Plus also, you have to understand, gold had a huge move yesterday. Huge move. So what's the probability gold's gonna have another huge move today?
None.
Very less. You know, now there's a higher probability that gold might range between, what's this, 1480 and 1487.
Yeah, I had about a 60 pip-ish range I was looking at.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, we have a smart guy here. Trafalgar D. Law. No trade day today. That's an excellent analysis.
Hey, Mike.
What?
Oh, it's Dwayne. Hey, Dwayne. Dwayne.
Well, why do everyone thinks it's me, bro?
Yo, where's Alvarez? How come I didn't see this guy anymore?
Is he, I don't know.
Well, if he's not here, he's not here.
You guys talking a veganism cult.
If I may add on your USD stuff, keep in mind all your data has been good. Do you expect it to go down? Your USD is correlated to gold in some way. Well, the euro data has been good, but I guess someone mentioned here that Draghi flat out said that the euro will never be as strong as it was. But that's a very macro fundamental view.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the macro fundamental views, people take them in like it's going to happen now. I think they play out on like the weekly and the monthly time frames, like on the higher time frames.
Yeah, for sure. You can't trade economics on a 15-minute time frame.
Yeah. Talking about economics on a 15-minute, yesterday someone told me that they will buy gold. I'm like, why? Because the US is going to go in recession. I'm like, it's not going to go in recession today, you know.
They don't just announce we're in a recession and that's it.
Yeah, the guy takes buys at 1501 and holds it.
Stop loss at 1250.
Oh, man. I had someone post in my free Telegram group yesterday saying, any advice for my friend? He bought gold at 1508.
Oh,
friend.
Is it going to go back there? He's holding a 50% of his account drawdown, no stop loss.
Yeah.
Is it going to go back there? Fucking nuts.
Well, tell your friend that he's
You know for a fact it wasn't his friend.
Yeah, no.
The guy's already blown account.
Yeah.
Man.
Why are you trading without a stop loss? You're an idiot.
I had people sending me charts. They had take profits on gold. Okay, so this is what the charts look like. They would have something like this, take profit, and no stop loss. And position is down over here. And I'm like, man, you have a take profit. Why didn't you have a stop loss?
Yeah.
He said, oh, I removed it. I'm like, oh, what?
Like the stop loss, you put a stop loss in a place where if price gets there, it means you're wrong.
Yeah.
And then you take the loss and you move on. Not like, so he's now going to be sitting there for weeks, months, hoping this comes back.
Yeah.
And his account doesn't blow before it takes him out. You know? It's stupid.
Yeah, because for gold to go back up, there needs to be really bad news for the dollar.
Yeah, it needs to be a war or some shit.
You know, or Trump needs to wake up and say, okay, we're slamming tariffs back on China.
Yeah.
That's the only way gold's going to go up.
And to that, what level was it, Simon? 15 what?
He bought at 1508.
Bloody hell. Yeah.
He was, I think, at the point he was asking the question, he was in like a 200 pip drawdown, and 50% of his account was gone.
Nice. No stop loss.
Yeah, and I posted that picture of, you know, Sean Lee yesterday. Too many dickheads do what he does.
Yep.
Just keeps entering buy positions when it's falling.
Yeah, he's got the pipe for Forex, man. It's just...
Yeah, you know, I used to do that too. I used to, like when I first started, I used to look at, you know, like supposedly big traders on Instagram, and they'd take trades, and I would just follow their trades with no stops, and I would be like, yeah, that was a very depressing stage.
Yeah, but like, exactly, and that's what, you know, he posts that on his Instagram and everyone starts taking buys, thinking he's like the Messiah or something.
Yeah. I would take the trades, and then I wouldn't use a stop because I wouldn't know why I was entering. I was only entering based on someone else's entry.
That's the problem. Everyone's taking that trade because of that reason. They're not learning nothing. They're just taking it because they think that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing.
But I think the best thing I did for myself was when I actually started to understand some sort of price action, I would look at the signals people would give, and I would just dissect those signals, and I would see if they made sense or not. And half the time, they made no sense at all.
Yeah. Yeah, especially when you get... I've got a lot of signal companies that I used to use that I've still got, like I get notifications for. I look at them sometimes, they're like using 100, 150 pip stop loss and stuff, and I'm like, man, it's just... It's madness. But dangerous.
Whatever. I'm done for the day. Hit my target. I'm out.
Nice. Take care, Mac. Have fun.
Good job, Mac.
Thank you.
Take care, Mula.
All right, Big Mac.
Big Mac.
See, we haven't missed much. I've been on phone calls.
No, I actually, excuse me, Ted. I actually had a very good call on gold.
Yeah, Mac had a good buy call on gold.
Oh, you bought it at 1483?
Pardon me, but I did buy at 1484.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I have support at 1484, 29.
And I closed at 1487.
Nice. I mean, it made sense. I mean, it did reject that area, but I mean, now it's ranging on the 4 hours, so.
Yeah, that's what I looked at this morning. It's
just... but I still have positions from yesterday at 1482 flat.
Yeah. No, that's a good spot. My concern is this daily candle is just going to range because it hasn't really created direction. And going with the theory that I usually use, when there's a big move, the day before, the next day is bullshit. Like that's been hustle to the charts today.
Yeah, that's why I'm out for saying that's so bye guys.
Yeah, whenever there's a big move the day before, the next day it just sort of sits around. Because you can't have so much shit unless there's big, huge events. And there was really nothing today to say, you know, that we were going down. I mean, they had the talks and the relief and stuff, but it wasn't confirmed. It looks like it was just moving on rumor. And now it's back to where 1484 is, and you know we need another rumor to start the movement again.
Oh look, it looks like it's gonna get back to 1487. All right, I'm out. Bye, Ted.
Remember? So. Yeah, it's the one thing I've learned in trading over the last years is if there's a big move, the next day it's junk.
Yeah, kind of like that day.
Yeah, you just sort of sit back and just let the market set up again.
Yo.
Sean Lee is the GOAT, has an $8 million account. So he can stomach the drawdown. Yeah. I have an $8 million account too. I can't stomach that drawdown. It makes no sense.
Unless you're the big D. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I've had the same account for 2 years now. I mean, Sean Lee opens a new account every week, so I guess that's how he can handle it.
Well, let's not start on that. It's early. Too early. But I think we're all thinking it.
So for today, you don't see if we break this if we break this resistance over here, we can head to this area. But don't you see it happening today?
Doesn't look like it. It's nothing moving. But yeah, I agree. If it's going to break out there, that 14 sort of maybe 14.95 even in that that area.
Mm-hmm. I just don't like the 4 hours. They're just a boring to me.
Wow, it's really amazing. Last year in August, we started with less than 100 live viewers. Now we average like 1,000 every day.
That's impressive, right?
Oh, someone sent a chart. Nice, I like charts. Oh, what's this? It's brutally fake out. Then we can sell right here, question mark. Then we can take target till here and let's run her some. Yeah, that was the main, like, that's the reason I took sells earlier in the morning, because of that fake out. Took sells to 1484 and then closed. And now price is just in this range. So I think a safe sells would be below 1484 to go down to 1481. Now it's just ranging here. Or like buys above 1487. Ajay Chauhan sent a chart. Oh, sent the wrong chart. And Ajay
I'll keep
Chauhan.
getting next one about GJ and then I'll get bored again.
Yeah.
It's getting to a point I'm like, oh, maybe this time, no.
Look at that.
To be fair, it's got potential. It's just got to get moving.
Ooh, what's this? GCAD. Wait for break of consolidation area. Stop loss below close of candles previous TP1. Yeah, I think you could make this work if you can get through all this consolidation to the left. And you can make it work. I mean, the way price is going to break through the consolidation is going to be in one swift candle, or it's going to tiptoe up. That's based on what I've seen, you know. Why you guys don't want to? Oh yeah, perfect. Gold respecting trend line. Then what? What's next? Mr. Kashi Laflar. Miss Kashilafla. Miss. Yeah, I think you need to provide some more substance here. Yeah, like entry, stop loss, what are you expecting, and all that stuff. That's very important. GJ, is this clean traffic or no? Because the consolidation box before red. GJ, I think when we're looking on the 4 hour, I would consider. See, it's very dirty. This is the thing. This analysis on GJ is extremely dirty. I don't like this at all. I would skip GJ here for today. I would just skip it and come back tomorrow. That's what I would do with GJ. And this is very important, you know, like when you see something like this, you really have to force yourself to skip it and come back the next day.
Yeah, especially when news coming tomorrow. I think after that, dealing with the effects of that will be good.
Yeah, you know, it's very important because it's like when you head to work in the morning and you have two options of routes, right? And one route is going to have like a lot of traffic and the other route is going to maybe have a lot of traffic. So then you got to make a decision whether to skip that route or not to skip that route. And when I'm looking at GJ, I'm telling myself, Raja, listen, GJ, you got to skip it till tomorrow. So I'm going to skip it till tomorrow because my head hurts looking at this.
Yeah.
When I look at this, it's like me looking at your USD, like, ugh. See, trading is so easy, just no trades and just chilling, relax. Yeah, I think most people sign on for the music, basically.
Yeah, I'm going on holiday tomorrow.
Oh, nice. Where you headed?
Dubai.
Dubai again?
Yeah, man.
Nice.
Nice, man.
Get some of that winter sun. It's getting cold here.
Are you still... Is that like a package?
So we go there sort of this time every year. So we always stay in the same hotel. So I've got like a contact in the hotel now that I just email them and say these are the dates. You know, what's the best price?
That's good, man.
That's where we go.
It's cold enough today.
I'm in Dubai and it's getting cold. Don't tell me that.
Cold is probably
30 degrees there. No?
Yeah.
30 degrees ain't cold.
It ain't 6 degrees. It's fucking freezing here today.
In the morning it gets cold in Dubai.
Listen.
Yeah. Not like this.
Yeah, not like
I can sit by the pool in my shorts. It's not cold.
25 degrees.
Minus 20? Who's minus 20? Calgary. Shit. I definitely won't visit there. It was all icy this morning outside my house.
Calgary, that's near you, isn't it? Raja? Isn't that like North America?
Yeah, Canada.
Oh, it is Canada.
Yeah.
Oh, Western Canada.
Yeah, Western Canada. Alberta.
Not for me.
New Zealand USD, buy stop, sell stock, target. Looks good. Looks good. Rakeel, holding gold, question mark. No. First of all, my name is not what you wrote. Second of all, I'm not in any trades right now. Nothing. Looks like it's going to be an early day here.
Yeah.
I did take a trade in the morning and that was it. What's this? Short position retesting the underside of that support. I think what I see from here is that this is a support. This is a resistance, and then this is your next support. So you need price to break that middle one to continue down. Or you need price to break above to go up, maybe to this area. That's something how I would look at it as. It's crazy how much I've learned watching you guys for the past month. Oh, thanks, Nicholas. It's awesome. Okay, Mr. Ajay Chauhan. Let's try this again. USD CHF resistance looking to short soon. Looks like a downward trend. Yeah, I think this could work down till, I don't know, maybe your black line. Like what does this black line mean? Where would you place your entries? Where would your stop loss be? Your take profit? All of that information is missing.
Wow, why did someone tell me gold's flying? Man, chat is so quiet. I thought someone's gonna be the hype man.
Yeah, I've lost my enthusiasm today since London. So slow.
Yo, Chris, actually, whenever you speak, I actually get your voice mistaken for silence all the time.
Oh, don't start that again. We don't sound nothing alike.
Bro, you sound pretty much like the exact same person.
We're from complete different parts of the country.
Oh wow, look at that.
I think some would agree.
Looks like
look for that bullish candle. So watch it fly.
Yeah, it looks like Mac had the trade of the day today.
Yeah, it was a nice call.
Mac was calling buys and everyone was saying no, Mac, no.
It was just Constantine saying no.
Yeah, it was Constantine saying no. But these buys now made sense too. The 30-minute close bullish, just as like we were talking about earlier. Went to 1487.
It's also holding support 3 times, 3 30-minute candles.
Yeah, exactly. One on yesterday, and then again pre-London, and then again. It's crazy that 2 weeks ago I couldn't send a chart, and this week I've had all the winning trades. Oh, nice. Someone sent a chart here. Oh, can't open it. Someone sent another chart here. This Wow, if gold closes above this area here at 1487, this 4-hour could flip bullish, and we could get like a little like, you know, correction from the news yesterday, maybe to like 1490, 1491. Raja, check GP CAD. I don't do that normally, but let's. Ooh, it's flying, nice. Yeah, huge is also continuing down here. The 1 hour is bearish. It's bearish, breaking below 108, 950. Should come here. If this is going bearish, then gold makes sense to stay above 1487. Next 1488, and then next 1490 and 91. I mean, if it stays above 1487, it should retest the underside of this low it made yesterday after the NY Open.
Yeah, that 90 level's a pretty strong level as well.
Yeah.
Not that it made much difference yesterday, to be fair. It's just the only place it kind of did anything on the way down.
I'll be right back.
I think your key also here is getting above this area here. Once you get above this area, then you have essentially clean traffic right over here to move. So that might be, that's going to be your move then.
Yeah. You do want to see a bit of support at this level though, really, wouldn't you, first? Or, yeah. Are you still there, Simon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wonder, how long are you away for? Are you away for a long time?
I'm back on the 17th, so all next week.
Oh, that's plenty of time. Nice, man.
Yeah, but I think 8 or 9 nights.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, can't wait.
Ah, brilliant.
There's a question here. So even if the 30-minute candle closes bullish above that area, wouldn't it be a safe trade? Well, I mean, any trade can be safe. It's what your comfort level is, and then how are you going to map out your areas, your stop losses? Like, where are you placing your stop loss and where are you placing your take profit? So that's where you have to figure out what makes the most sense at that point, right? Yeah, I mean, you can place your stop loss there, but then where do you enter over here, right? Like, are you just going to enter blindly in, or like, what are you going to do, right? That's where you sort of have a little bit of issue at that point.
Yeah, that's what I was saying about wanting to have a little bit of support or something first, just to see,
right.
And give you an idea of where you could potentially put something if you needed to.
And the thing is, too, what people have to remember is that, you know, just because you see the pair moving doesn't mean that it's an opportunity for us to trade. It's institutions moving stuff, right? So you have to determine your risk tolerance with the information that you have, right? Like here, obviously, it seemed like a very valid trade to finish off at that level, just because of the fact that you know, it's almost like you're finishing that triangle. You basically dip down, come up, and then you have sort of that move there. So I mean, it did seem very valid, if that's something that you were looking for. As you know, if you watched the 15-minute candle, the previous 15-minute candle was bullish, so you could have technically entered on this 15-minute candle and then taken a position, right? So it's what your comfort level is. A lot of people, you know, they're not looking through all the time frames, and they don't have a plan of action. What they're doing is they're just jumping on when the trend's already moving. It's like you have to anticipate these moves, and you have to put your, you know, that's where you have to put your risk tolerance into play, right? Like what am I comfortable risking at this point? Does it make sense? You know, the way that the candles have set up at that point. You know, like if you were trading off the if you were looking for that range, if you were looking to grab this trade here, you would have analyzed the bottom side. So what you would have done is you would have said, hey, look what happened over here. I believe it's going to continue, and this candle is going to be engulfed. So then what I would have to do is I'd have to look at the 5-minute time frames to see if it makes sense, and then see how those candles are forming. And if you look on the 5-minute, like not this, I think about 10 minutes ago, we created a support on the 5-minute. So then what you would end up doing is you would say, okay, there's support at 1485.61. My stop loss is going to be, you know, at 1484, and then I'm going to probably go to fill that range, which is, you know, 2 or 3 pips, or sorry, 20 or 30 pips, and I have a positive risk to reward.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The problem is people aren't doing that. People are saying, well, I'm waiting for the 30-minute to close. Well, if you're waiting for the 30-minute to close, you're going to miss these moves, right? Because you're waiting for 30-minute to close, and you're using higher time frames to trade then at that point, right? If you're looking at these current candles, you have to jump into your 5-minute time frames and trade based off of that. And you have to be comfortable with how fast this could possibly move, and understand that, hey, if this is your target, if this is the first target, as soon as it hits that, you have to close.
Yep.
Or you have to say, okay, my stop loss is going to go over here, and I am willing to accept a 1-pip trade because now my stop loss is in break even.
Mm-hmm.
And that's sort of the issue that people have, is when you're working through certain things, you have to figure out what makes the most sense based on your risk tolerance, right? Because 30-minute candles on gold can move super fast, and you know, now it pulls all the way back, you're stuck. So you have to be really confident, and what you're saying to yourself is, you're saying, I know more than likely we're going to reach that level here. We're going to reach this level here first. I know that. Why? Because if you think about it, right? So, you know, when you turn around and you know, this is the game that you play once again with when you're trading. If I take away these candles, right? And we take away these candles, and we see that support is being formed. No, that's not a good idea. If we see that support is being formed at this level here, if this is support, right? And I know that this is a potential resistance area. I've mapped that out. So this becomes my range, right? If I know that, and as I start to trade, I start to see, okay, this candle now has hit that resistance level. Based on that information, I can jump into the smaller time frame and say, listen, providing that this now holds, this area holds here, I can execute, and my idea then is my next range is over to here. So now I'm going into this area here, and then you say to yourself, well, where's my stop loss going to be? Well, your stop loss is going to be on the 5-minute time frame, because of the fact that you have more information at that point. Like, once again, if you're trading on the 30-minute or 15-minute time frames, you have to look at the 5-minute for your stop losses. And you also have to understand that when you're trading on the 30-minute time frame, there's going to be a lot of times that you're going to watch the 5-minute time frame and freak out, because if you look on the 5-minute time frames, there's wicks that drop really hard, things of that nature, and it'll get you sort of, I guess, scared, if that's the word that I can use. But when you think about it logically, if this candle creates support, this candle goes up, I mean, it only makes logical sense that we would complete the end of this candle, right? That's sort of how I see it. And why do we see that? Because we look over here, we're tapping into that zone, and if we have momentum where this is holding support, then yeah, we should go up, and then eventually we should tap this area over here. When you're trading, you have to determine those risk parameters. Some people aren't comfortable with taking trades on the 5-minute time frame. So now if you're waiting here for the 30-minute time frame, you will then have to say, based on this information here, based on the fact that this is a resistance level, I have to now see something in this area holding support to give me a chance for a trade. And then essentially this is my target over here. And if I'm doing that, now I have to look over here and figure out where can a support be. Well, we can already see there's somewhat of a what we call a smoking gun here with this area here. So you can see that there was a little bit of a wick. You can see that that sort of matches up here. So now when you look a little bit closer, you can say to yourself, okay, if we hold the next support level, this is going to be my zone that we could possibly tap into. So my stop loss will have to be below this zone to allow the trade to breathe and bounce into that zone, come back up, and then fly up over to here. And then what I have to do is I have to measure, okay, if this is giving me my stop loss, what is my take profit point? You know, where's my risk to reward?
Yeah. Makes sense.
And
that's where the 5-minute massively helps you out. If you,
yeah.
The more you use it, personally, I've found massive help using that a lot more.
Yeah, and then yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if you just mentioned this, but you said, like, say for instance, you see this candlestick right here. Hold on, 1 second. This candlestick here, how it was going up, and you said something to the likes of, if you most likely, if you were to wait for some kind of confirmation, you would likely miss it. So you'd say the best suggestion is to go into the 5-minute time frame.
Well, so here's the scenario, right? You have to figure out what your comfort level is. I can trade the 5-minute time frame with relative ease with gold because I know that this is my range. So what I've done is I've identified a super tiny range of risk, and then basically my risk is going to be over here somewhere, based on the 5-minute time frames. Oh. But that's legitimately just my target, right? Because when you think about momentum, if you think about momentum like rolling a ball, right? Eventually the ball, when you're rolling it, it's going to eventually roll to a specific area. And when you look at the charts and you look at this trade as an example, you start to say to yourself, well, what's the probability of us filling to that top area again if we have momentum? Because if we think logically, right? So if you were to turn around and look at this chart, so let's turn around and take away that section again, just as an example, right? So let's take away this candle, right? If we look at, I guess, all these candles here, right? Just look at them and look at price. At what point do we have rejection, right? So we know right away where we have rejection. We have rejection right over here. We know that. And we eventually pulled down. So now when you're mapping out the area over here, you think to yourself, okay, at this point, there's probably a very high probability that we are going to go up in a sense. And what I mean by that is this area here, this specific rejection, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen in this area over here. But now understand that that candle essentially at one point didn't have rejection. So what did it actually have? It had a full body, right? Because it pushed up first. So with that being said, if I know that, I can visualize now this candle here going across over here and filling that area. Because what I'm anticipating is a rejection to drop back down. And where would I see that rejection? I would see it on the smaller time frames, and I would have to be cognizant of that, because what ended up happening over here, the candle finished with a rejection. But at one point, it was bullish. So when you think logically through the charts, there should be somewhat of a bullish push first and then a rejection. So when you look and you see what's happening, you can see, like, you know, we're starting to have issues around here, and this candle could potentially reject all the way down. But if it doesn't, now you say to yourself, okay, well, where is my next target? My next target's over here. Why is my next target over there? So when you ask yourself, well, why is that the case? Think logically. Okay, so annotating. So when we look over here and we see this area of rejection, right? We see this zone. This is all a zone area of rejection. When we start to look at information, so we have a rejection here, we had rejection here, and as we start to reject, think to yourself, this is all fuel to move somewhere. This is all fuel to move somewhere, and where more than likely should we move? To an area that where there was rejection previously. And when we think logically and we look across logically, you can see this candle now has a clear path. So essentially this candle should also have a clear path all the way up as well. And then you say, well, how do I know? You don't know this. Like these are things that you don't know. But as the trade develops or as the chart develops, you start to think to yourself, well, I mean, do we really think that we're going to get a rejection like right over here, and now all of a sudden we're gonna drop? I mean, when you think of probabilities, like, is that going to happen? Like, we're going to get a rejection and we're going to drop right over here?
Probably not. No.
Probably not, right? So we don't know 100% that, you know, we're going up, but the way this structure of this candle is, I bet on the fact that we're probably bullish more than we're bearish. And if we do get a massive rejection, then you say, okay, well, why did we get that? And that's when you would go review the trade afterwards. But you can see at this point, where are we heading? It's almost like there's a homing signal or a beacon going to that level there. And now the question becomes, okay, well, Ted, where do I close my trade? Well, what you do is you map this zone out, right? So you go to the bottom of the wick, and then what you say to yourself is, okay, I have a couple of issues. And my issues are, where do I close? Well, safe closes are probably just below that zone. So technically anywhere over here would probably be a safe close. Looking at current price, probably round numbers like 1490 will probably be a point where we may get a little bit of rejection. It may push up to 1490 and then pull back a bit. So when you look at that, and why do we know that? Because we're coming close to this zone. So when you think about it and you start to analyze, you say, okay, well, 1490 may be a good point. Why is 1490 also a good point at this point? Well, we know that it's, you know, basically right here, so we're relatively close, so we should hit it. But also, as we are coming down and we're looking at the time, we're coming close to the end of the hour. So what do we normally see with gold? We either see a hurry up and push, like we get a nice big push up, or we get a rejection all the way back in the next couple of minutes. So now with that being said, and you know that information, you have a decision to make. because now we're at 1489. We're sort of struggling. We're coming close towards the end of the hour. We're close to a zone. So now you have to put all those ideas together and say to yourself, hey, probably if we get to 1490 or close to 1490, the fact that we're coming close to the end of the hour, I think it'd be a good opportunity for me to close, because we know what happens at the end of hours, right? What do we have? We always have wicks. There's always, a bit of a wick towards the end of the hour. So knowing that and having that anticipation, when you go into your smaller time frames, your 15-minute or your 5-minute, you'll start to see that, hey, there's a bit of rejection happening on the 15-minute or 5-minute. So maybe I'm comfortable just closing my position right now, because technically speaking, our original target was over here. We passed that target. So now at any given point, there may be potential pullbacks, because once again, where are we? We're coming close to the end of the hour. And that's something that you have to consider all the time as you trade through and as you work through. And it just makes sense, because when you think logically, every part of a chart, every part of price is reacting at a certain stage. Your job as a detective in the charts is to figure out, hey, what are the probabilities of us reaching certain targets, and why won't we reach those targets based on historical data? So if we're saying, hey, we're going to go to 1490, yeah, more than likely we're going to go to 1490. But if we didn't get to 1490 right now, then potentially next hour we're going to get to 1490. But then you have to ask yourself this question: this hour candle, on the next hour candle that pops up, how far down are we going to go further up again if we're going to go to 1490? Because technically speaking, this next hour candle, and we've seen it happen before, could potentially rip right back down into 1487, 1488, and now it's taken your trade out, and it's taking your profit with it. So this is where candle timing and candle closes are important, because you may find that, hey, that was maybe the highest point that we're going to get to in the next couple of hours, and now we're going to pull all the way back. And you feel like a dumbass because you were up like 7 or 8 pips, and that's the hour candle. The hour candle moved, 7, 8, 9, 10 pips or whatever, and now it pulls back 6 or 7 pips, and it ranges again, because we broke out of that. We technically broke out of that level, and now we're sort of going to come back and sort of test that support area. So when you're trading, your timing is very important, because it will determine whether you take a win or potentially take a loss. Because I guarantee you, at 9 o'clock, there might be a pop up, but for the most part, there might be probably a bigger opportunity on the wick down. And when you look at that, I always look at the fact that, hey, I'd rather just close and be happy if I see something like this and we've just broken out, then try and guess which way we're going afterwards. It doesn't make any sense to me. When I'm up 8 or 9 pips and we're coming close to the hour close, and there's all this traffic, and you can see that we're struggling at 1489. So really 1490, yeah, is our target. But I think we're going to need another hour or so to push up to 1490. It's good just to take this and say, hey, you know what? We tried for 1490, we didn't get there. But am I really concerned about missing 10 pips or 8 pips or whatever the number would be? And that's what I think people need to get used to, is just saying, hey, I'm happy that we broke out. I'm happy that this candle went up because I was in a buy. Yeah, I didn't hit my target of 1490. We were aiming for 1490. We came pretty close. But now I have to accept that this is my profits for the day. And you have to get used to that, because of the fact that there's going to be days where, hey, this keeps plowing right through to 1492, and that was your hour candle, and you made it to that zone. And there's other days that you don't. You're tossing baskets. You're tossing basketballs into a basket. you have to have a high win percentage. But the way you get that high win percentage is by making smart decisions every day. Sometimes you're taking 3-point shots. Sometimes you're doing layups. This would have been a layup where you would have been like, hey, we got the 1489, we got the 1489.60. That was good enough. Like, I'm happy. Like, I got like 12 pips off this trade. I'm good. Like, that was a layup. Where, you know, maybe it'll turn around and say, hey, this will turn around and it'll just keep pushing up to 1490 and I get a 3-point shot. But you know what? I rather just keep scoring baskets than try and guess where it makes sense or where it doesn't. Ted, where did you enter? Ted didn't enter anywhere. Ted was explaining how to have taken this opportunity. If you were looking on the smaller time frames, that's what Ted was doing.
Yeah, I'm just sitting back and just watching the candles just do their thing. I don't think I'm going to take any trades today.
Yeah, I've taken no trades at all. I mean, I used to find if I'm doing that and just sitting there watching it, 5 minutes, I can see, if that makes sense, and it just gives me an idea of what I'm looking for in the future.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's one thing, because I think, you know, when you're trying to, like, I guess, quote unquote, force trades, even though you may see some type of opportunity, I think you kind of hurt yourself or shoot yourself in the foot, because, I mean, I don't believe that, I mean, just given the environment right now, it just doesn't warrant any trades for me. This is just me saying whatever.
Well, I mean, that's my opinion and view. I mean, personally, I'm saying I've not made a single trade today. I was looking at GJ mainly.
Yeah.
I did look at, but I was looking at the 4-hour on gold, and I just didn't like it myself. After yesterday's move, it's just not something. Same as Ted said, after a big move like that, normally you get kind of a day or so of nothingness.
Much of fluff. But yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna just. Yeah, I'm just gonna watch.
Yeah. Well, the thing is too, when you go through the charts and you have experience, and this is what I wish people would understand is a lot of what I'm talking about is just from experience. I'm not some mythical creature that can map out trades and stuff. It comes from experience, and I guarantee you, in 2 or 3 years from now, the same people on YouTube channel will be like, Ted was full of bullshit, because I see this all day. And yeah, the same thing happens every single day. Like I'm not trying to portray myself as some mythical creature that can show you how the markets are going to move. It's when you start seeing the same thing over and over and over again, and you've been doing this for 3, 4, 5 years, it's probability. It basically, I've seen this happen. Chances are it's going to happen again. Why? Because I'm looking to the left. And you, as a trader, as you gain more experience, will start to see the same things, because you're going to find your wins are going to always be relatively the same every time. There's always going to be a little bit of a nuance, but for the most part, if you're taking winning trades, I guarantee you, as you journal them, it's sort of the same thought process. It's the same breakdowns. Maybe there's a minor difference in market structure. Maybe there was a rejection on the 15 instead of the 30, but for the most part, it's always going to be a similar style. And when you ingrain yourself with that similar style every single time you take opportunities, you're going to find, like, when you take a trade like that on gold, you're going to be like, yeah, that was easy, Ted. Like, anyone could have done that. Of course, I'm not going to dispute that, but it's the experience to understand that, hey, that's going to happen at 8:30 a.m. in the morning in the North American section. Usually, you know, for the most part, when we see momentum like that, we'll get a push in the last half hour of the 8 o'clock hour. So, you know, a lot of the things that you're going to learn over the next couple of years as you're a trader, you're going to turn around and come back, and that's why everyone gets angry, is they're going to be like, well, that was really basic. Well, it's only basic once you know it. If you didn't know it, it wouldn't be basic. And you got to get...
I think it goes to the point where, I mean, you got to put in the work. And I think more and more, like, you know, I always hear Rakeel, like, cursing off all these people with their funny analysis, and you know, the questions are, is gold going to go down, is gold going to go up? It's just the fact that they're not putting in the work, and I think that's the major problem, because I mean, the simple fact that you keep saying that you see the same things over and over, and I remember you mentioned many times before about logging in your trades and, you know, seeing the same things over and over. You know, you have your Excel spreadsheet and you put in what happens at this time and how far did it go and this, that, and the other. And then it's just the fact that people are not willing to put in that type of work. It's just, you know, and it shows, and it really shows. So, I mean, I wouldn't be the person to say, "Oh, well, Ted, this is nonsense." I mean, I think what you're saying has some real truth and validity to it. So, yeah, I mean, I just kind of scratch my head when people just say, "Hey, it's I don't know how to do this," or they ask like the very, very basic questions. I can understand if they're new or whatever the case may be, but I mean, somebody that's been, let's say, 3 years doing this and still asking the same kind of questions, it's just like, wow.
But the thing is, what I find for me, like talking to someone like Ted, who's obviously experienced, I mean, I've got some experience as well, but I would take what someone like Ted said on board and go and check it out myself for my own view, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And go and put it in. Oh, just actually, just don't just take someone's word.
Right.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You got to be, objective with that.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's exactly it. And the idea is what I try and explain is I always give the 80% rule. Like I try and give information that I've seen like 80% of the time. Like we can see right now on the 15-minute charts or the 30-minute charts, gold dropped. Mm-hmm. Right? That to me is a no-brainer. Like we know usually at the beginning of an hour we're going to have a pullback. Like we know that. So the reason why I'm very cautious towards end of hours and I'm trying to exit my trade for the end of the hour because of scenarios like this. Because yes, 100%, the next hour could have continued to rocket up, but when it doesn't, this is what happens to you. You get punished, and you sort of sit there and you're like, oh man, I was in profits of like 9 down break even, and or I'm losing my trade, and it's because I've been down that road before where you break even on a trade and you're like, man, if I had just taken profits at like 8.55, I would have been good. And you get used to that because it's like your hand is touching the stove. Eventually you realize the stove is going to be hot. Don't do that anymore. And it's going to take you, like, depends on how hard-headed you are. It's going to take you a while to realize that. Like if I'm scalping a 30-minute candle or an hour candle, I can't wait for the next hour candle and be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to see if it continues to go up, because chances are it's not going to do that. If I'm working off a 4-hour candle and I'm saying, hey, the 4-hour range is like 60 pips or 70 pips. Yeah, I don't really care what this hour candle does. And based on history and my risk to reward, I can afford to have a break-even trade on a 4-hour candle range because of the fact that, hey, most times I'll get 50 or 60 pips, and today I'll only get like 10.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But if I'm trading 30-minute time frames and hour time frames, and I get, I get like 6 to 9 pips or 6 to 12 pips, that's pretty good, because essentially you shouldn't have any drawdown because you're working off the smallest time frames, like a 5-minute chart or a 15-minute chart. So maybe you might have a 1 or 2 pip drawdown max. But for the most part, like once it hits like 8 or 9 pips, like you should be securing that and locking that up. Unless there's something to tell you that it's going to continue to move. And that's where you do higher time frame analysis. And that's what people ask me is like, well, how do I extend my trade? It's like, well, you would have to look at the hours that you're trading, and you'd have to examine and say, hey, what makes the most sense at this point? And you can even see Rakeel's put on the chart here, it's a big range. So we may have popped out of that range for that last hour, and now we pull right back into it. But now, how do we attack this chart, right? So how do we attack the next hour? So this is the question that you're going to ask me, because people are going to turn around and say, well, what do I do now, Ted? How do I trade this? Well, here's a perfect scenario. If we still believe that this is our target here, right? And you still believe that this is the target. Now you say to yourself, okay, well, essentially, I probably want to take orders above this area over here somewhere if I'm going up, right? And what I'm going to do is my stop is going to be, probably within this zone here. So I'm going to wait for that to reverse. So this will be, my stop loss region. So let me put that here. So this essentially is going to be my stop loss area. And then this over here is going to be, the take profit points, right? So that's what I'm going to do if we're going up. Now, if we're going down, what are we looking for if we're going to continue to go down? So now if we're going to continue to go down, I take this away, and now I map out the bottom parts of my zone to go down. So if I'm looking to go down, where's a perfect target? Probably right here, or essentially right over here. So now you ask yourself, well, how am I going to trade that, Ted? I don't know how I'm going to trade that because I only see a one single 30-minute candle rejection. And I say, yeah, correct. So now what you have to understand is you have to say, okay, if I believe we're going down, how are we doing that? So what are we looking for? Chances are we're going to probably have candles that are going to look similar to this. That's not good. I want to use a red candle. We're going to have candles that look similar to this, and then basically you're going to drop right back into that range. So that's what we're going to have. So we're going to have candles that are going to look like that. So maybe, you get a candle that looks like this, the wick up here, and then, your wick over here in this idea. The fact that we don't have that yet means we have to wait. So you have to wait, and you have to say to yourself, okay, what makes sense to me? The problem is, and this is where you're going to get into trouble, is you're going to try and trade in here, right? You're going to try and take trades in here, and you're going to get stuck because, you already see what's been going on. The market's been bouncing up and down like this, right? So the market essentially has been doing this. It's been bouncing. So the fact that we know that, how do we effectively examine this item now? You have to move to your higher time frames, and you have to now map out higher time frame information over here or over here or over here, and now say, okay, based on what I would say the 4-hour candle, if we're starting to drop, then I believe we are going to continue to drop into this range here. So you say, okay, great, that's amazing. But what am I waiting for? I'm waiting for us to go back into this range here, and then I want to see rejection on the top area of this range. So I want to see candles rejecting similar to like this candle over here, and that's when I'm going to start taking trades, and I'm going to be mindful of the first potential problem right there, another problem over here, and then eventually I'm going to get to this point right over here. That's how I would effectively look at taking a trade in that regard. And that is what would make the most sense to me. The problem is this range, is you're going to get stuck in that massive range. But if you do want to take trades, that's what you would end up looking to do. I don't agree with us going down at this point, because when you look at the hourly candles, you see massive rejections at this area here. So to me, that doesn't make any sense. I would err more on the side of us going back up to 1491, and that this candle right now is collecting a lot of liquidity to move in that direction.
Yeah, safe trade for me that I realized in my trading plan is this hourly candle right here broke up, this one. And this one's doing the retest, and then once this one flips bullish, then I take a trade. But if it doesn't flip bullish, there's no trade, and that's it.
Correct. Yep. And how you do that is basically you can place an order right over here, like a pending order right over here, and then what you're doing is your stop is probably going to be right over here at that point.
Yep. Yeah, below that wick. Yep, that's right. Exactly where I would put it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's one of the venture requirements earlier about creating a potential support lower down, and then watch it progress from there.
Because if it doesn't flip bullish, and there's no trading, you don't.
That's right.
So
yeah, you don't have to. You can sit back and wait because you don't know that this candle is going to go bullish. So what you may have is this setup for a bit. You might have candles that are just printing, like in this area, like going down, going up a bit, but they're not doing anything. They're just printing, and then you can sit and wait. And then when you have that breakout candle like this, you catch it at that point.
Yep. Yeah, that's the trades that I've realized about 80% for me, and so those are literally the only trades I take now.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. If it starts becoming consistent, then you're going the right way.
Yeah. There's a question here. Don't you think after waiting that long you missed the move? Well, no, but the thing is it really a move if you're concerned about missing it, right? Like if I believe that we're going to 1491 and I take an entry at 1489, have I really missed a move? I've gotten 20 pips out of that move, right? You have to try and understand that if you're concerned about missing the move, chances are it's not a move to be taken, because you should be comfortable with the fact that we've just mapped out this idea And if it does happen, you have a very, very easy trade, because essentially what you've done is you've waited for these candles to now flip, and you're moving up in this direction. And to my point, if we don't go up, then maybe there is no trade. You know, this is the planning stage, right? And this is where people get into trouble, and they get angry because they say, well, you know, like Ted, on during the week you said that if we break above 1510 we're going up, and it never did, so it went down, so you're wrong. It's like, no, I was planning my idea because I anticipated that we were going to move in a certain direction. If we don't go there, that just means that there's no trade, right? And that's okay. That's part of your planning process, because I would rather see this candle go bullish than try and take a trade right here, and then this candle continues to go down, and now I'm stuck because I'm like, well, I was expecting it to go up here, and now it's not, and where do I place my stop loss, because I entered at the bottom of this range at 1487, so should my stop loss be at like 1485 now? Like, it doesn't make any sense at that point. And that's where people get into trouble, because people will turn around and do stuff like that, and now they're stuck because they're like, well, I thought I was being smart by getting in at 1487 because we're going to 1491, and I could have gotten 20 extra pips on this. And I'm sitting here going, well, yeah, but that 20 extra pips, you're in the abyss right now. You don't know this candle's going to flip back.
Yeah, then you're trying to call tops or bottoms, and
that's right. That's right. Yeah. So, you know, you can turn around and say, okay, well, this is my range, 40 pips, and then you basically have this area here of unknown, or you can take 20 pips here and be like, chances are we're going back up, and I have a huge, massive rejection candle with this hour candle, and that should give me enough orders to get me to that level there. And if it doesn't happen, then there's no trade, and then you just don't take anything. And you're like, oh well, you know, the idea that I had did not make sense, and now I'm done.
And that's better than forcing a trade.
That's it. That's exactly it. Because there's going to be many times, and this comes down to experience, that this candle's going to flip, and it's going to go up, and you're going to get zero drawdown, and you're going to have a great trade. There's going to be so many times that's going to happen, and the one or two times that it doesn't, if you constantly remember that issue, that, oh, I didn't get the trade, I should have taken sells, I should have done this, you're gonna spin yourself into, like, you're just gonna mentally kill yourself, because of the fact that you're not able to accept that, hey, my idea didn't work out, I didn't lose anything. Everyone's looking at the fact that, well, we could have taken sells and we could have made money. I don't look at it that way. I have to look at it the fact that, what was my idea? How comfortable was I if that idea came true to executing, and what was my risk to reward? It's not, I just got to find a trade on a chart because, you know, today's Wednesday and it's time to trade, and Ted says Wednesdays and Thursdays are great days to trade. 100%, yeah, but there's going to be a Wednesday or Thursday out of statistics that aren't going to be a good day to trade, because Tuesday was a good day to trade yesterday, right? Like Tuesday, it was raining money. Everyone was like, yeah, this is great. Look at all the money. Today, there's no money, right? So we got Wednesday's move on Tuesday. That's why we show up every day. That's how I looked at it. Yesterday, I made money. Today, it's like, you know, hopefully something comes up. If it doesn't come up, oh well, you know, like yesterday's payday covers me for today's non-payday. Because when you average out your wins, you should be looking at the fact that you're not going to potentially take a trade every day, so you extend yourself. Remember, trading is like you're selling cars, or you're going door to door to sell like furnaces or, you know, paper. Some days you're going to sell paper to everybody on the street. Other days you're not going to sell to anybody. So you have to prepare yourself for those days where everyone is not home and nobody's picking up, nobody's answering the door, people are saying no. Today is that day where you're sort of like, well, didn't get anything. Some people got a sale. You know, some people got a sale. They took a trade up here. You know, Matt came in, he said, I took this trade. So he made the sale today. Everybody else watched him make a sale. He made a sale. That's it. You have to literally get used to all that information. You have to really get used to all this,
especially the planning, because I've made 100 times more plans than trades. that's part of the game.
Yep.
If you're not planned and you're not ready for it when it happens, that's where you're going to struggle.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. And that's where people get upset because they're panicking because they spent 2 hours today on a live stream and there was no trades, and now they're like, well, this was a waste of my time. I got to find a trade. Where it's like, why?
I've gone through London and New York so far.
Yeah, you did trades yesterday. Like, what's the big deal? Like, it's all good.
Chris, I've been up since I was on that stream this morning too.
Oh well, yeah, I didn't realise.
Well, I haven't taken a trade yet because there hasn't been anything.
Well, that's it. If you get a day like that, you might have
But
to.
it's not a big deal.
Yep. I mean, my plan's still to run for a while, but it's just not happened yet. So, patience. And to be fair, I might end up with a day of making no trades at all.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at GJ's in the same position.
Yeah, GJ.
Yeah. EJ also didn't break up, same position. Gold now doing the same. Yeah, so Ted's right. I mean, there's nothing so hard. Very, very, very hard.
And these are days where you run through scenarios like we just did. We ran through scenarios here. And you know, we ran through some education points. This is the day where you sit back and you look at the market and say, now I know that this is, if I see this scenario again, it's probably a trade. When people ask me, how do you know if it's ranging versus trending? Well, now you know. You watched small moves happen, reverse all the way back, where normally small moves like that would turn into bigger moves, and we would see market shoot up or shoot down, and there would be awesome opportunities. You have to take consideration. And I hope as people continue to progress in their trading, they start to understand what this game is about. This game is about planning. Like, the better you plan, the better you're going to have in terms of your winning. The more confident you're going to be, the more relaxed you're going to be when you're trading. The more you plan, every little detail, like down to the time that you're taking the trade, down to your risk to reward, every little detail, the more you can put into your plan and the more that you can sit back and wait for that plan to execute, the more comfortable your price levels. You're going to be able to call things, right?
Like a game of chess.
Yeah. You're going to be able to do that. You're going to be like, oh man, yeah, it's awesome. I'm going to be able to take a trade and I'm going to be able to do this because I know that we're going all the way up now based on my analysis. And you can start to see the plan come to fruition. You're able to see all of that candle just like I thought it would flip. And that's perfect because you waited all that time for that candle to flip. Even if you start to see the smallest glimpse of that candle starting to flip, the fact that you waited shows that, you know what, you're comfortable with the plan. Or, hey, as soon as we broke support, we're dropping all the way down. I waited for that. Not, oh, I know what's happening, so I'm just going to take an entry now. No, wait for it to happen. And then when it does, you're going to feel so much more comfortable with your execution because you're not going to be panicking because everything's happening the way that you thought it would. Now you're in the driver's seat. Now you're in control because you said, hey, this is going to happen, and it's happened. And now suddenly your confidence is through the roof because it's like, wow, I was right. And you surprise yourself. And those surprises start to diminish because now you're no longer surprised anymore. You're expecting it. You're like, hey, yeah, this happens all the time. As soon as this candle flips, I'm taking buys and I'm going to be profitable. And it's not, oh man, I hope this candle moves in this direction because I'm in drawdown. You're not going to have that anymore. You're going to be like, yeah, I know this is happening because of a looking left, because of this, because of that. And suddenly your confidence goes through the roof because you're letting the market come to you instead of you trying to jump into trades and look for things and say, oh man, if I don't get this trade right now, I'm going to miss the move. No, there's so many moves to be taken. There's probably charts that we're not looking at right now that are making people tons of money. It's just, that's not what I trade, so I don't really care what's going on.
Yeah, I would say 95% of the time I'm waiting and planning, and 5% of the time I'm actually in a trade.
Mm-hmm.
Being in a trade all the time would be too stressful. You don't want to always be in a trade.
Mm-hmm.
Told me once, Ted, patience pays.
Oh, I realize this is a new mic, but I realize what happens is I go towards my furnace room, and that's where the feedback's coming from.
Oh. So you're walking and talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, no wonder it goes.
Yeah, because I'm not usually sitting down. I'm in, like where because my space here is so big. I just sort of walk around and do stuff. So yeah, so I almost walk upstairs. I go to my kitchen. So yeah.
Okay.
Were you using a wireless mic?
Yeah.
Oh, now it makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Now it makes sense.
Hey, so gold's doing kind of exactly what you said earlier.
Yeah, pretty cool.
You know, I wonder if it has something to do with the fact that the bullish candle didn't make any wick, and then now it's kind of retesting that area as well. Nah, that wouldn't make sense. I don't know. I would say that's more like a flash in the pan type idea. But I don't know.
Yeah,
It's not the first.
ideas.
It's not the first time I've seen that happen. So I'm just trying to keep mental notes of that. Actually.
Yeah, it's basically just a break and retest. It's not much more.
Yeah, it's essentially, yeah.
Not much more than that.
So now, as a trader, you turn around and say, okay, well, how could I execute this trade? You're watching your smaller time frames and you're like, oh, there's support being created. Okay, so maybe I can take a trade on the 5-minute charts. And I can look to say, okay, we're coming towards the NYSE open, so I have to wait now to see what happens at that point. The other thing is, too, this could be a fake out, and we could be dropping further down.
Roger, you making beats now, man?
Yeah, this is the music I can play on YouTube.
Seriously?
Yeah, because if I
It's
play
so bad.
Yeah, because if I play anything else, they
Copyright, huh?
Yeah. They tell me, yo.
Roger, you're still here. I thought you went to the gym.
No, I'm still here. I'm still here.
Today's
Just been-
a complete shit, man.
Yeah, nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I've tried GJ 2 times. Both break even.
Yeah, it's just ranging.
Fuck. You took gold, right?
Yes, I had gold cells early in the morning.
Early bird.
Early bird. I'll be right back.
used to do is I used to try to take buys here as a retest now. But I realized the trades that I actually won were much more probable once I waited until they flipped bullish up here. And these ones I would have to end up being a drawdown. I'd be stressed out, and they just really weren't worth it in the end. So now I never take trades right here, because then you're basically risking that it completely comes back into the range and keeps dropping. So don't do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the problem is, we have to remember that the institutions are the ones that move the markets, not us.
Yeah.
And when you get used to understanding that process, that the institutions are the ones that are going to make the moves, and we just have to come in second place, trading becomes so much easier, because you could sit for hours and watch candles just go up and down, up and down, up and down, and then as soon as it hits that price level, and you have your order ready to go and it breaks out, that was your trade. Like it's the best thing to do in terms of trading is to let everybody do the work for you, like do the heavy lifting. Like, man, I'm sitting here watching this, I'm like, this is perfect, because if this area, continues, if we continue to move in this direction here, like this, you got like this little channel. It's like, great. Eventually, we're gonna break out of that channel, right? When you look at stuff like this, and it's just so very very easy to sit back and just wait. And I don't know.
Why fight it?
Yeah, I just don't understand why people are in such a hurry to take trades all the time. Like it's confusing to me. Like, I don't want to give my money away.
Yeah.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Morning.
Good morning. We're about to get off the stream in like a minute.
Hey, Ted, someone asked a question about oil. Would you say that the principles you're teaching are the same for oil as well? I mean, it should work for all.
Yeah, I think it could. I mean, I don't see what it is. I mean, I don't know the thing is, I don't know the characteristics of oil, so that's where you run into issues. If you don't know the characteristics, that's where you have a problem. But if you understand the characteristics, then it should make sense.
The concept should be the same. Right?
Yes, correct. Yeah, like the
So
idea.
that's what Mario was asking. The concept should be the same, Mario, no matter what instrument you're trading.
Yeah. It's just, what are the characteristics and the nuances of that pair that you're trading, or that instrument that you're trading.
Right.
If you know that that oil's going to push at certain times, or it reacts certain ways to certain information, then that's what you add to your your repertoire, I guess, so to speak, when you're trading it. Like, we know gold reacts to the New York Open and the New York Stock Exchange, right? Like, we know that. So that's why we're watching right now at 9:30. We're watching gold sort of play around, because the stock market's opening. And you turn around and say, okay, well, what's gold doing? Well, gold's reacting to how the stock market is right now. The stock market supposedly is opening up in a very, it's opening up positive, so we may be setting up to go further down. So orders are being put in, and they're getting ready to drop all the way through. So maybe we hit 1483 because there's positivity in the markets right now. But
and most of the time, oil goes the opposite direction of gold. So
that's another good point, right? So now you start to put correlations together and see what makes the most sense. Yeah, no, it's good. Hey, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you and I have talked a lot enough, and it's just like, once you get comfortable with, working through different things and understanding, the markets, you're not here to flex or have an ego. You're here is to work with like-minded people, and this is the thing people forget is, it's great to have discussions with other minds, because you're not trying to compete. You're not trying to say yes or no, or you're right or you're wrong. It's more the fact that there might be some sort of, like what you just taught me, I didn't know. and that's great because now I can write it down. I wrote it down on my notepad here, and it's something that I'll look into, right? That's the kind of information that just allows you to, you know, have a better idea, a better understanding of the market, and then, you know, I can come back, and that's I think the reason why Rakeel and I always work so well is Rakeel, I taught him how to trade, but then he taught me so much, and then because he was testing me, or he was pushing me in terms of his critical thinking. Like, because Rakeel never asked questions, and this is where I get scared with a lot of traders. Rakeel never asked basic questions. Like, he never said, what time does the market open? When does this happen? When does that happen? Like, he had already done all his research, and then it was more of like, oh, I noticed at this time we get these moves, and I've back tested this information over the last 100 days. I noticed that this happens between 8:30 and 9 o'clock, and I would turn around and be like, okay, send me the data. We'd scrub the data, and I'd look at it and be like, oh, I said, did you notice this and this and this happening before? And that's when he would be like, I didn't know that. I said, okay, so now we can capitalize on that. If this happens over here, we know this is going to happen here. It's the same reason why the streams happen, and we're like, you know, we know that there's certain pushes throughout the market. And I think if you have that initiative and that knowledge base, you're going to find that you know, you're going to succeed really well. And the fact that, you know, you've been trading for longer than all of us, it's great for you to come in here and give insight. And I think people need to take that into consideration, and that's how you will grow as a trader, and you'll grow exponentially because of the fact that, you know, you're working with good people.
And people should take a day. They literally should take a day and not trade and just look for pattern recognition in the charts. Just say, I'm going to look for a pattern, and I'm going to see if it, like, backtest it, like you said, Rod did. Go look for a pattern and backtest it, and just do your research before you say, I'm not going to take a trade today. I'm just going to learn what patterns consistently repeat themselves, no matter what instrument it is. Patterns repeat themselves all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But that takes effort and that takes work, right? And most people just want to make money and stuff, and that's if this is your job, then in your job you do stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And so if you're going to treat this like a job, treat it like a job.
Yeah, you got no choice.
I mean, I'm always looking for pattern recognition. I'm always saying, what do I see in the pattern? I'll look at the chart and I'll just look at it for 15 minutes and say, what do I see?
Yeah.
And gold is the same pattern as last week for non-farm payroll, right? I mean, it's looking like that. It's the same. It looks the same to me.
Yep.
And oil has a bunch of wicks. If you're on the 4-hour oil right now, it has wicks that are looking very bearish. 4 of the last 5 candles on oil on the 4-hour are very bearish wicks. It's the same pattern.
Yeah. I like Jizzle.
Oh, Jizzle.
Yeah. He always comments on anyone else who's talking other than me or Rakeel. He's like, who's this guy? I hate this guy. It's so awesome.
I love it.
Yeah. He does it. I think he does it on purpose because I see his personality through his typing, and what he'll do is he'll make comments and then he'll retract them.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I love the banter. I absolutely love it.
It's great. I enjoy it too. I think for us, when you look at that kind of stuff, what's good about that is it means that everybody's comfortable and everybody has good intentions. When there's banter like that, I know that people are happy because it means that they have a comfort level with the people that they're talking about, and they know that we know what they're talking about now. And that's the good thing. Like I think sometimes I look at the YouTube chat, like I'll scroll through and I saw people going back and forth, and it's good because it just means that at least there's communication and at least there's ideas that are being passed through. I think that's the biggest thing to take away. I mean, you know, obviously there's not really, some days there's name calling and whatnot, but I mean, we ignore that. But it's just when there's good banter and you know, people are comfortable with each other, that means that, you know, people are happy and people are engaged.
And I think that's what drew me to stay and hang out with you guys, because I listened to you guys for a few days and I loved the banter. I'm like, this is actually a fun place to be. It's
it is, because I mean,
boring.
That's exactly what I say. It's super boring, and I mean, it's great to just be able to shoot the shit with people, and you know, just a lot, and it's funny because we're all around the world and whatever. So I really appreciate people, you know, joining and adding you know, whatever they can, exactly, adding value.
It is really cool. I mean, I just come here, I don't even talk that often, I just listen, and it's nice just to listen to people and laugh about what they're saying, because otherwise you're sitting staring at a computer screen.
We don't listen to you anyway.
And make fun of people sometimes, and that's okay. Like, we all have thick enough skin to be like, yeah, that's fine. You know, it's like, we all have banter. I love it.
Just talking to people in the day makes the day 10 times easier for me, to be honest with you. Just listening. Sometimes I don't even talk.
I just listen most of the time.
Yeah. Like having the radio on, but it's talking about important stuff.
But it'd be really nice if the Dow would go down right now.
Yeah. Well, they said that there was. I was reading. I have all the news up right now, and they were saying that earnings are about to tank. There's a problem there.
Well, this and the hit above the all-time high might just be the catalyst for those fake breakouts and for it to just tank, because now a bunch of people went long the break of the all-time high, like, oh, this is going to the moon. No, sorry, you lose again. You know,
at a high for a reason.
Yep. They do that all the time. To me, they do that all the time. They'll spike it above that all-time high and get a new group of traders going long, and then they'll say, "We got you again, sucker."
The other thing that I'm watching, if you've been reading CNBC, they've been talking a lot about CEO departures. Like the heads of companies are leaving. They're leaving different organizations. That's always a telling sign to me. Just because from my corporate experience, no CEO, no executive leaves because they just want to leave. There's always a catalyst. It's either A, their job's they're gonna get fired because shit's happening. B, they see shit coming. I think the best story that I have about that was I was really good friends with one of the executives in my last company. Like, we used to talk, and he would call me up all the time, like just to shoot the shit. There was one day where he called me on his cell phone, and he was in the car, and he was shooting the shit with me, and I'm like, don't you, like, I don't want to take your time up, like, you're busy. He's like, no, I don't give a shit. He's like, whatever, I'm just driving anyways, entertain me, tell me about what's going on with the Raptors and the Jays and stuff like that, because he was based out of Boston. And it was really funny because his demeanor started to change, and it wasn't towards me, but it was just in terms of the way he approached his job. Like, he was like probably the best boss you could work for, because he treated you like a human being, and he valued your opinion. So it was great working for him. I was his right-hand man. It was through succession. My previous bosses ended up leaving, and then I originally was reporting to a boss who reported to him, and then they just said, okay, just report directly to him because he knows you well enough and nobody else knows him as well as you do. So I'm like, okay, cool. So for the longest time I was a golden child because I reported to this executive directly, and all the other heads got pissed off because they couldn't really tell me what to do, because as long as he was happy, they had a good job and they were in a good position as well. So what ended up happening was, as things started to shift in the corporation, his demeanor changed, and he wasn't as enthusiastic about his job. He wasn't really worried about anything. Like, I would give him suggestions, and he'd be like, "Yeah, do what you think is right." Like, before, he was all about like, "Oh, we need to do this. We need to do this. Okay, add this." And yeah, sure enough, literally 2 weeks later, out of the blue, he sent in his resignation, and he was out. And a month after that, everything started to unravel in the corporation. Like, the morale got crushed, people were leaving left and right, and it was just, I've always noticed that, like, when you have CEOs or executives leaving a company, it's never a good sign. It's never a good sign. It means that they know something that's coming in the horizon, not like a day or two later, but in the next 6 months, because obviously everybody plans for 6 months to a year in advance for like large corporations. And it's very interesting. Like when I read that on CNBC this morning, I'm like, shit, there's lots of stuff going on right now in corporations that we don't know about. But using that as historical data, it means that there's a lot of problems going on in corporate America. So if you guys want to read about that,
yeah, it's interesting because you say they know 6 months before. So usually the bigwigs at the corporations know, and they don't tell the little people. But they know what's going on 6 months in advance, and then they have to find out when the company closes or whatever.
Yeah, thank you, Ted. I never really thought about that stuff. That's all insight and data that I never really thought about, and adds a lot into trading.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just little things that I think of, just through my experience, that if somebody's reporting that all these CEOs are leaving, that means that there's something going on in the markets. Because
something like that is huge.
Yeah, because no CEO wants to be on the losing side of something. Nobody, and they all leave on the top. They have impeccable timing. I knew two heads of my departments that when I was working back 7-8 years ago, they left, and everybody was in shock. They're like, why did they leave? And they made up some bullshit excuse. Oh, don't worry, everything's gonna be fine. I need new challenges, and it's just like, man, I've heard this before. This is bullshit. And sure enough, 6 months down the road, there was a whole restructure, new people coming in, all this stuff. And it's just like, you motherfucker, you left us for the wolves, right? And I got used to that. So then when I saw stuff like that happening, I was like, yeah, I put, I used to send out the email to my colleagues. I put the meme, winter is coming, that winter is coming meme. I do that every time we got someone out there, be aware, yeah, so.
Iron Man, you fuckers, man. You guys almost shook me out of my fucking US 30 long position. Fuck. I'm just hearing all this negative shit. I'm down. I'm like, should I hold?
Well, no, it's not going to happen today.
Well, hey, but at least you know who you'll be taking the money from, because I'm short. So at least you know when you win, you'll be taking your money the money from me. So that's pretty good.
Okay, thank you. I took your money.
Donating to the cause.
It's like, fuck. Just hearing all this negative shit.
Well, dude, I read the news. I'm just reading the news, so maybe I should stop reading the news.
You should. You should stop reading them. When I lived in Alaska for 2 years, one of the coolest things about living in Alaska, I lived in a little small village, and one of the coolest things is I never paid attention to the news. It was the most brilliant thing in the world, because my mind didn't get crazy, and I never listened to it. I didn't know what was going down in the lower 48, because we just never paid attention.
Yeah, you guys probably care more about Canada.
I love Canada. My family owned a fishing lodge in Vancouver for a long time.
Funny you say that. Growing up, I used to hate watching the news, and now that's all I watch.
I just shake my head every day. I try. I'm like, I'm not going to do it today. And then the stuff that's going on down here, obviously in the States, I'm just shaking my head like, are you freaking kidding me?
I know. Same.
Really? Why are we doing this? There's an election in 12 months. Why are we going through this? No one wants this. We care about how we're going to put food on the table for our families. That's what we care about. Everyday Americans, that's what we care about. Why? Exactly. This is nonsense. If you don't like him, then elect him out.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter who's in office, Republican, Democrat, because they're all fucking thieves and liars.
Oh, they're all corrupt. We all know that.
I would love to see an independent party win.
Dude, you live in a utopia. That's never happening.
I'm gonna say start that.
Yeah,
I'll be your first member if you start that.
Trump, when when Trump first got elected, he wasn't really like on either side.
Oh, 100% he was. Yeah. No, he wasn't independent. He knew what he's doing. He got in there to help all his buddies. There's people that are getting paid off. What you would need to do that is you would need to build almost like a bunch of cells. So as you would almost need to build like franchises. And what I mean by that is you would need one super wealthy person or a conglomerate of wealthy people that are new money. And what I mean by that is new money that was not influenced by old funds, other people in that regard. And at that point, what you do is you would then be able to say, okay, we have to spend all our money and disperse it. The problem is the old guard still has too much money. They have too much money. They have unlimited resources still. There's still too much control that we can't.
Jizzle rejected his message again. He retracted his message again.
Everything is ranging.
All right, I'm out, guys. You guys all have a good day.
Perfect. Take it easy.
Have a good one.
All right. I'm good. I'm out too. Have a good day. I'm gonna go to the gym.
Yeah, I'm gonna
All
have
right, guys.
too.
Me too. Have a good day. All right.
Take care, everybody.
All right, everybody.
Yep.
Take care. Enjoy the day.